never read it, so like I didn't even know, and
Oh, that's funny. Yeah,
yeah,
and then we started DMing, and then he was a guest, and then we were just like, "Yo, like let's just go all in," and a year after, this is what it's become. So, we just and now we just text all the time, do content, and like I've gained like one of the best friends I ever had in my life. Just off
that's
of
awesome.
Instagram arguments.
That's cool.
So
That's fantastic.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean,
and
go ahead. No, go ahead, Dre.
I appreciate you saying you came up on the algorithm because we had an incident recently. Mm-hmm. Someone bit my content twice, and I called him out for it. And he's like, "I don't even know who you are." And it's like, bro, I saw you on the algorithm. I know, and listen, we do okay. We're not like big yet, but we're trying, but we're bigger than this guy. And I was like, I know. If I've seen you on my algorithm, you've seen me, and he bit twice in the same week. So I feel like there are a lot of people in this space who just don't want to give credit to other people. So I appreciate that. I always say I don't believe in being humble, but that doesn't mean I'm cocky.
Well, I just a quick confession. I did bite off Benny Johnson's Rush Hour clip. Because I just thought it was fucking hysterical.
I'm a big fan of Benny, so
yeah.
All good.
Yeah, I'm actually. It's funny you say that. How there are similarities between channels and video. Like I'm finishing up my Twisters review, and I recorded before I watched the hard cut review, and I'm noticing shit that I said that's turning out similar in the edit, and it's like
sometimes
it's like I've ripped
that's
them off.
different. That's completely different. It's a hot movie in theaters.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people are going to have similar takes on RDJ. I hope I brought something unique that once we get into it, because I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
I said to Stevie, I was like, I was going to do a solo video on this, but I was like, I want to bring these guys some heat. So, I hope it does well. I think it's a unique take. We love Marvel. But that doesn't mean it's all rainbows and butterflies.
There are a lot of rainbows.
I mean, prior. Oh, right.
I kind of walked into that one,
I basically, I think like when did I stop reading comic books? Like when I was in high school and I discovered girls.
Kyle,
it was about like. Right after, what the hell was the last storyline that I remember? It was the like when they brought in Bastion and like Operation Zero Tolerance. So that was like 97, maybe 98. That's going like way back. And then after that, like they brought in the Ultimate Timeline, and I got fucking just completely lost.
Yeah,
Paul, sorry to interrupt. Are you watching this? Hardcut is fucking creeping out in the live chat. Are you going to allow this?
Yeah, I saw that.
They're in the live. I didn't see it. I got the
They're
screen
stalking us.
What are they saying? What are they saying?
I'm dying.
That's funny. Yeah.
Gosh, now I've got to minimize the screen so I can read what the hell they're saying. Okay.
Yeah. Kyle's a dirty content stealer. We all knew it.
How do you get to the live chat? I can't even see it.
Should have comment on the side.
It's on the left. Under
okay.
Comments.
On your left.
Thanks.
Yeah.
But superhero cuts, Stevie. Like, when did you? Are you still reading comic books? Are you still like? Are you up on what's going on?
Yeah. So I kind of took a break for a while, mostly because I'm a big Game of Thrones nerd, and we have another channel. We have another channel called Fantasy Cuts, which we're actually changing into Spectrum, where we're like trying to combine more. But so I spent the past couple years trying to read all the Game of Thrones books, and I'm on Fire. I just finished Fire and Blood not too long ago, and so I kind of took a really long break. And I read books like I got this book like the Aragon.
You got time
books.
to catch up. Don't
yeah,
worry.
Aragon.
So I haven't read, but obviously talking with Jerry and taking the show more serious, I've been kind of catching up. So like I just read Avengers versus like X-Men.
Oh yeah. That was
You know what I
from
mean?
like
So
maybe
just
10 years ago, right?
mhm.
Yeah.
So I've been catching up, and I still read. Like I still try to keep up on the new stuff, but like some of it be a little too suspect for me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you know what I mean? So,
A little.
I have to pick and choose. Like, I don't want to see my Spider-Man kissing another you know what I mean? So like I have to, I pick and choose on what new stuff I read, but I know Jerry's been reading a lot of like Doctor Doom, and and then before that I read through like all of the Claremont like X-Men,
Oh, amazing.
and then I finally finished the Krakoa stuff. So it's just
Okay.
it's just insane.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people like to shit on the '90s, but I loved Age of Apocalypse. I loved the Onslaught storyline. I thought it was pretty fucking awesome. The Heroes Reborn, Heroes Return thing was kind of lame, but we did get what's
I
his
think
name?
he's the worst writer, Kurt Busiek. I think he's the worst writer of all time.
But the artwork with Jim Lee was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, take the good with the bad, but now it's like mostly bad after Disney bought the properties.
They have some good things coming out. This new Ultimate Universe Marvel is doing is really cool. DC just announced their All-In initiative, which, I appreciate that DC saw the Ultimate and they probably were like, we want to do our own version, but we have to make it really different. And it seems really different. I was actually talking to one of Stevie's home friends yesterday, and I was telling him about both. And like when I had to tell him about DC's version, I was like, I don't even really keep up with what they're going to tell me about it in the marketing because I know I'm going to read it when it comes out anyway.
Exactly.
So especially these days with all the spoilers and everything, it's like if I know I'm going to watch a movie, other than if we're covering the trailer or whatever, like I'm not going to bother watching the trailer. I mean, this Deadpool and Wolverine trailer, there was like a new trailer every day. It's just, it's ridiculous. But Marvel is probably desperate to have box office success right now. So they're pulling out all the stops for better or worse.
Yeah.
By the way,
gotta
I
say-
would encourage you all to read that new X-Men comic book though. Pretty fire.
It's fire. Actually, yeah. And this is something I appreciate. So I was listening to Marvel's new podcast today in the car. Listen, they give great information, but the guys that do it are like super corny, and it's almost like they're trying to talk to like 8-year-olds. But whatever. Jed McKay, the guy who's writing Avengers, was like, it's not a coincidence that I'm also doing X-Men. It's like an actual initiative that we're trying to keep the books closer together. So I have to imagine a big crossover event is coming at some point soon. So
I mean, they basically do a crossover every year.
Yeah, especially with Avengers and X-Men. And, they did the Axe with the Eternals recently.
Yeah.
They obviously did Avengers versus X-Men a while ago. But, yeah, there's the crossovers sell. I mean, they just finished one, like, literally yesterday, Blood Hunt, which has been pretty cool. I don't want to spoil anything, so but, the ending was interesting. I had a tweet about it. No spoiler warning, but I was like Dr. Doom won Blood Hunt without being part of Blood Hunt. So I was like, that was pretty cool.
Okay, I gotta ask this: are we worried about Deadpool Wolverine spoilers at any point? Are we
No,
going to have
no.
a delineation or separation?
Well, I mean, at this point, I think Nerdrotic already put out like a shit ton of spoilers. So go nuts.
Yeah, free for all. Like
Yeah,
this
total
is
free
open
for all.
discussion.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Spoiler alert.
What are you rating on the 10 scale?
Ooh.
I rated a solid 8, maybe up to an 8.5.
I give it a solid 7 or 7.5.
That's where I'm at, 7.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm around 8, give or take. I've got some like issues with it, but I had fun. I don't know. Badger, what do you think?
Yep.
I mean, if you want to, like, without all the extra shit added on, yeah, it's like an 8. But with all the shit added on, it's a fucking 10 out of 10. And I'm going to see it for a third time.
Yeah.
They sidestepped every single trap. I'm very attracted to Cassandra Nova when I thought she was going to be a girl boss in the best way possible. All the jokes were perfect. All the in-jokes against Disney were perfect. Yeah, I love it.
Some of the stuff they got
actually
away
watched
with.
Loki, so I understand the story. I don't know what fucking people were expecting.
Yeah.
I think the only annoyance for this movie is everyone criticizing. It's like, Motherfuckers, you believed in all this goofy shit when it was in the comics, but it goes in live action, and now you got a fucking problem with some shit.
Thank you. Oh my goodness.
Who has a problem with what?
I asked Robert Meyer Burnett the verisimilitude of the shit, and I'm like, Robert, what is the so when
I
is
hadn't
the
heard
line?
that one.
Where is the line then? And apparently, live action, all of a sudden, you're held to like a higher standard of like it doesn't make sense in the comics, even when it makes sense. It's made up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are we talking about the plot line, the conceit of the plot? Because
Pick
that's
one,
what
a MacGuffin,
that's
the time splitter,
my
the
problem.
TVA,
That knocks
whatever.
the point of where it sits of
The
7.
point was to get Ryan Reynolds and Hugh
Because of
Jackman together and say goodbye to 20 years worth of
mechanics
Fox
of
movies.
the narrative is my problem with
The
that.
mechanics of the narrative was what I just said, to get Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds
Exactly,
together,
bro.
and that's
Like,
what we got.
And to be honest, none of the Deadpool movies have had good narratives, and that's why I don't understand
Also-
why people have been so mad. Like the plots in the first two were, I think, even
Mid.
more weak. I mean,
Yes.
but that's not the reason why you watch Deadpool. Like, we're not watching
Yeah.
The Great Gatsby. Like, we're
He breaks
watching
the fourth wall. We're the fourth
Exactly.
wall. We're watching for the shit. Yeah.
The fact that this movie and all the Deadpool movies in general, it just doesn't take itself seriously. That's why it worked for me. Like, and generally, if a movie like
The music.
right,
The making fun of a trope, then doing the trope and executing it properly, and then making fun of it again.
It
So
wouldn't
fucking
typically
good.
work in any other type of film,
Right.
like Godzilla, X Kong. That movie takes itself seriously and it's retarded. I can't.
Yeah.
This movie, it knows it's ridiculous. It
The
laughs at
opening
its
alone.
ridiculousness, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why I can actually go with it. That's why it works.
You know,
Did you notice that was a cameo too? The song itself.
I mean, I grew up. I was 13. I knew the fucking dance. I still
No,
could do the
I'm
dance if I had to.
talking.
But no.
I'm just talking about that song was in X-Men 2.
Yes,
When
it
he-
was.
I saw
Yeah.
that.
The
I
saw
noticed
that.
radio station, right?
Yeah, he's
Oh.
driving the kids away. He's rescuing the kids, and they turn on the radio.
Yeah.
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 I was like, oh man,
yeah,
even a
yeah.
song had a cameo.
Did you see the NSYNC changed the title of their video on YouTube to the
Yeah.
official Deadpool?
Yes.
That's
I saw
You know what?
that.
I gotta say,
Ryan's marketing was
screw
beautiful.
NSYNC and screw Madonna. I can't stand either of them.
Whoa,
Well, I hope
whoa,
you feel
whoa.
better.
Slow down,
Fucking
brother.
awesome
Yeah.
scenes. I'm glad they were
I'm-
doing it. Her Like a Prayer made that fucking ending,
And I don't like her
a couple
either,
of those
but
scenes.
That's definitely a good song. I can't stand her.
Yeah,
That's like
but
the one
both-
tarnish, but it's still a good moment. That
yeah.
makes
I didn't
me.
even know that was Madonna, to be
Yeah,
honest.
it's
I don't know
Madonna.
her
Sorry, we
catalog.
shouldn't have told you. Maybe that might affect your
I
interest.
could separate.
I wish
it.
I didn't know that I would have, because I liked it in the moment. It worked, and they
I
did.
could
I
separate it.
assume that they did this orchestral version of it. Yes,
I mean, it
they
always had
added
something.
things to
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, they added.
Okay.
Sure.
Probably.
Yeah.
They definitely added to it.
But in that intro, my favorite part of the intro was there's 206 bones in the human body. 207 if you watch Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
It's a
funny.
bunch of them.
I
Oh
thought
my
it was,
gosh.
and I don't really care for dancing, but I do remember watching it and think, oh, that's pretty neat how like
Yeah.
on the combat is on beat, and I did appreciate the Wolverine claws, but I don't like that the movie kind of made Madonna and NSYNC relevant again, because both of those people, the world would be better off if we
Bro,
never heard
I was
from
just
them
at a
again.
Justin Timberlake concert on July 4th.
Show me on the doll where they hurt you.
There's a lot of vitriol coming out of your voice, Jerry.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you saw their, political promotions in the past couple days, but they probably wouldn't have been as relevant if those songs weren't in Deadpool and Wolverine. So
If we really let
pissed me off.
political opinions of celebrities influence us, if we realized everyone's essentially like a Mark Ruffalo or Mark Hamill, well, then we'd have nothing.
yeah, but we have a country where people get offended if you, drink a soda. So,
I'm offended
it's
that you
where
said
we're
that.
at. What?
I said, I'm offended that you said that.
Yeah, I'm sure, and I'm sure someone in the comments will be. That's kind of the neat
Nah,
thing.
our comment section is like mostly cool, and I want to call out Megan the Texan. Thanks for watching. She's
Megan the
a
Tex.
regular on the channel now. Deadpool and Wolverine versus the Deadpools was too much. Why did they come through the portal?
I was just wondering, how did they? Because the portal
Okay.
was at the Ant-Man fortress, and how did they jump through the portal? All of them, and the dog, and not like
Cassandra Nova opened a
you
door
got.
for
You know
him.
the answer.
Using a device that was from
Cassandra
a
using a sling
strange
ring.
variant that she
She
killed,
used the
apparently.
sling ring.
Yeah. See, this is the issue when you start flagrantly using all the
Yeah.
shit, but then everyone doesn't watch this. Yeah, no, just use a sling ring, which I guess now we're saying only
With the
works for the
Infinity
I
Stone,
guess
by
I
the
just
way.
assumed that
Secret
was
timeline.
the same one. I assumed that was the same one that they had jumped through, but I guess it was just a whole other one. Yeah, you're right. They deleted.
So, by the way, guys, I'm probably going to ask a lot of questions because I don't read the comics. So you guys are the
that
educated
matter,
ones
all
on
this
this.
goofy shit isn't even in the comics. They've ripped this off, and it's its own entirely new thing.
I have listened to some people talk about, including Paulie's review, about the references to the comics, which I appreciated. And my favorite sequence is the Wolverine variant search. But the thing that I wanted to ask is, can Cassandra use that Doctor Strange ring? Does she have the ability to do that?
As soon as you let Fat Ned
No
open a portal with a sling ring with a throwaway line of "We have magic in our family," I'm perfectly accepting that Cassandra Nova, with her essentially Professor Charles Xavier powers, could figure out how to tap into whatever magical. But it's very easy for me to believe that character can find a way to break the rules.
So it was proven in No Way Home when one of the Spider-Men used the ring.
No, it was what's his name?
That is not just an MCU thing. In the comics, it's the same. If you get the Infinity Stones in one universe and you bring them to another universe, they don't have that power. Yeah, so that wasn't just an MCU thing.
Yeah, and also with Cassandra Nova, so if I was to compare her powers to someone, I would say it's maybe a mix of Wanda and Professor X. So like
Scarlet Witch thing going on.
Yeah. So she does have like she can move people around, as you saw, and she's able to go into people's minds, which would give her
fingering jokes were beautiful.
That was some good effects though, y'all.
Very good.
I thought it was done quite well.
Very good.
Yeah, Cavalrine was great, and it's funny that now the Snyder fans who have ripped on the MCU for eternity are now going to have to give the MCU some credit. So I appreciate that.
I mean, we need them on our side, bro.
I think
I don't hold on.
You got
ripped on Snyder universe, but I thought Cavill was always a worthy Superman, and he's a charismatic actor.
Yeah,
and just other aspects of the Snyderverse that are problematic.
Yeah, I mean that was the MCU's like FU to DC for screwing Cavill over.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, Stevie, and I wouldn't be opposed to this, but Stevie wants them to hire Cavill for their Wolverine going forward, which I think would be a W. Listen, he's a little old, but he doesn't look old, and I don't think he's going to look old anytime soon.
Yeah, you've got another probably 15 years out of him because he's 40.
I don't think age matters at this point.
We're talking about the same company that just made an Indiana Jones movie with Harrison Ford.
Right.
But Harrison Ford didn't have to
use that as a prototype to follow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Henry Cavill is pretty good at keeping that physique. He's kept it. I mean, since the second I knew he was
bulked up.
He doesn't just do this for films. This is the way he is.
Yeah.
So it's not.
Which is funny considering the other day, and no shade to David Cornsweet because I think the guy is great. But he the first thing he did when Superman was over, he was like eating a brownie or something. But. Listen, I'm sure Cavill has his.
Oh, please, let's not put Cavill under. The first thing he did after he ate like a whole pizza and a cake. He does not fucking stay this position for the movie. No, he stays in shape, but he does not stay that like.
So his muscle. All talk over each other. He's not cut. He doesn't have cut muscle. He has fat around his muscle with the bulk.
He does when he's doing a show, like in The Witcher, when he said he could smell water because he didn't. So that the muscles hang over the skin, hangs over the muscles. But he's in great shape most of the time. But he's not going to be fucking Wolverine. Yeah. He's got, assuming it doesn't fall apart because they have like 3 more months to announce it, like officially going forward. That Warhammer, he's going to be doing that for a decade. Plus, he's doing Highlander.
Oh, he's doing Highlander.
Oh yeah, I've heard about
Chad Stahelski.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be too busy.
Yeah, he's going to be too busy.
Warhammer might be cooked, though. I don't know.
No, that's what I'm saying. It might be cooked because he's not happy with the custody lore changes. Amazon wanted him to do that, and Games Workshop is capitulating. And so they now have until December 2024 to announce either postponing it, greenlighting it, or canceling it.
Yep.
Henry just had a kid. He still has to do the Highlander movie. He's been wanting to do Warhammer 30 years, but if they fuck it up, he can't put his name onto it. Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean,
By the
they
way-
already fucked up The Witcher.
That's why it would be horrible because he lost
Yep.
Superman. They fucked him over on The Witcher, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be
Like,
screwed
what is
over on
going
Warhammer.
on?
Got
Like,
it bad.
what?
And like the guy's a real nerd. He's like one of us.
Yeah.
Like, he knows his shit with the lore.
Okay, Paulie, now you got to get him on the stream.
You
gotta find a way.
I'll
complained
try.
about-
Try.
He was complaining about Snyder's direction with Superman. You know, he wanted
He
the
wanted him
more
to be
comic
hopeful
accurate.
and
Yeah, he was
right.
very nice about it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He's never like chastised something, but he's pretty diplomatic at giving criticism. He is.
Yeah.
He
He's a great
stated
guy.
how he wanted that hopeful Superman, and I was on board for that.
Yeah,
And
would've been great.
unfortunately, he got fucking shafted after a week or two after he
No,
was. said
oh,
he's
he wasn't
back.
fired because he was never hired. That's what they all say. Is like James. No, fuck you. He was fired. They told him to announce it, and then James Gunn came in and went, "No,
Mhm.
I want someone that looks moderately, just exactly like him, but 10 years younger. Even though Henry looks fucking better."
I can't make assumptions on David Cornsweat. First of all, that's
Yeah,
a weird. That's a
bro.
weird name, by the way.
Bro,
I
James
saw
Gunn.
him in Twisters. He was. I didn't realize until maybe after the
Hold on,
movie
real
that
quick,
was
wow.
him.
Yeah, David is a
Completely
discount Henry.
forgettable.
Discount fucking
Completely
Henry.
forgettable.
Yep. He is He's like,
Baggy,
yeah, he's like Wish
Dumb
Henry
uniform
Cavill.
suit. Yeah, no, they're gonna have to drag me kicking and fucking screaming to enjoy that movie.
Not gonna.
Bro,
Then he
I
keeps
don't
his wife
plan
and all
to
the
see it.
Peacemaker crew and the Suicide Squad. Fuck, James.
bro, Cornsweat is gonna be the Superman that we grew up with. I'm telling you, it's gonna be something special, man. I'm telling you,
Bro,
I hope-
and
He's
I
gonna
don't
bring it
blame
here for sure.
I don't
hope
blame
you're right.
James Gunn. No director that's going to take over DC wants to bring any of the baggage
100%.
with the Snyder fans.
Hey, remember when
and
James
I
Gunn
wouldn't
said he
blame
never
James-
wanted to do a Superman movie and would never do a Superman movie, and now he's doing a Superman movie? So forgive me if I don't fucking have faith in him. Maybe he's changed his mind and evolved as a person. I don't know.
And he keeps his wife on, of
Well,
course.
or hypocrisy and nepotism besides then.
Maybe
Yeah.
he got the DC job, and he wanted to take the DC job, and the first movie he had to make was
Yeah,
Superman.
which is
But
perfect.
he's just selling
Which-
it that he
yeah.
really wants to do Superman.
Yeah.
Which
Hope
I
he
don't
sells
blame
it.
him. It's Hollywood. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors. But one thing I know for sure, if I were heading DC Studios and you gave me the option to do whatever the hell I wanted, and I was coming in after Zack Snyder, I would draw a line in the sand. I would do things to piss off the Snyder fans. I'd be like, "Get away from me! You are not my fans. I don't
Oh
care
man,
about
that's
your
the dumbest
complaints on
fucking thing
Twitter."
you could do. What you should
Goodbye.
do is unify everyone, but this is
You
what's going
can't-
on in politics too.
No, because
How
you
about Creature
cannot-
Commandos?
You
That's
cannot
going to be
keep those
fun.
people happy. And
I'm one of those people. I like the
Yeah,
Snyder,
I'm
by the way.
definitely.
So,
I am
hi,
not
buddy.
happy
You're talking to
with
one.
what they did to Cavill at
Yeah.
all. At all.
Yo,
Like I don't even plan to watch this movie.
I don't
I'll
think
watch
it's
it. I'm just saying he's
I'm
going to
not
have
going
to
to.
drag me kicking and screaming. He's really going to have to be perfect for me
I'm just
to
not going
win
to.
me
I'll
over.
just
Wait,
opt
Sin.
out.
Wait, Sin. So you're not seeing Superman at all? Why?
I have no interest at all with what they did with Cavill, and I actually liked the dark tone of the Snyderverse. So
Yeah, but
Were you a Tom Welling fan?
oh
Watched
yeah, come
all
on.
seasons.
Smallville
I didn't
is
watch.
my
I didn't
jam.
watch Smallville. No,
I love
Put that
Smallville.
suit on for 30 seconds and it was CGI.
Yeah. Now,
Oh,
Leather
really?
Jacket Superman.
I've
don't
seen
talk
like
about that,
Nah, the leather
bits and
jacket
pieces
doesn't
of it, but
count.
no, like
blur,
Cavill.
yeah.
Cavill
The
to me is the best representation of Superman. Like he was absolutely 100% perfect. He
What about
beat like
Brandon Routh?
I can't even watch a Christopher Reeve
Ralph is
Superman
good.
now.
Brandon
It's
Ralph
like
is
oh,
good.
Hold on, Jared,
it's
hold on,
little-
Jared.
Ralph is okay.
But why do y'all blame
it's
James
alright.
Gunn? Because The Rock is the one that tried to do the hostile takeover, right? And he's the one that brought Cavill back.
So,
Cavill
I
was
think
under The Rock's management too. So
if
like,
James
that's not
Gunn,
James Gunn's fault.
if Gunn
He's the one that made the
actually
decision. That's why I
was
blame
gonna
him.
be sincere about it, he would have gotten rid of even his wife, but he did
Right.
not.
If
So
he,
I'm-
here's the thing. Thank you, Sin. Had he done a clear reset, I wouldn't have said a goddamn thing. But he
Yeah.
picked and chose. So if he picked and chose, he
Yep.
should have gone with the fucking fan favorite at the time. Even the Snyder haters wanted Henry back to see a bright, hopeful. So that's why I blame James Gunn, because he's the one at fault.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, they've been miscasting a shitload of people. I'm looking at you, Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
You're not fucking Reed Richards.
Oh, by the way,
Oh my
No.
I also blame
know,
no,
Dave
don't
Filoni
agree,
for all
man.
of Star
I
Wars
agree.
because he's the creative director. So the buck stops with him. He greenlights the shit. Therefore, he's ultimately responsible for all of it.
Yeah.
Who has played the ultimate Mr.
I don't-
Fantastic? Because okay, so we've got Ioan Gruffled, whatever however
like
the
him.
fuck
Yeah,
you
that guy.
pronounce his
Yep.
name.
yeah.
I liked him.
He was
He was
great
too
in the
he
new
was
Bad
too
Boys.
cheesy in some
A
of
little
his,
bit,
and
yeah.
and
I
because
think he
he's
was a great
not
rebirth.
traditionally American, he had to put on an accent. There's this weird thing that happens with actors when they're British, they overdo the accent, and
Benedict Cumberbatch
the words
in
sound
Doctor
terrible.
Strange was
and then afterwards we had Miles Teller, who is a great fucking actor, but ill-suited for that role.
I couldn't believe they put that in the end credit thing with the green. I was like, why would you put that one? Fuck
hey guys,
that one.
Can I ask you something? I heard a theory that he could be coming back as the what's it called? One of Reed's variants.
Who, Miles?
Like Council of Reed.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that.
The freaking Maker. They said that Miles might come back as that.
I don't mind Miles Teller. He's a fucking great actor.
The Maker in MCU.
He is.
The Maker is so cool.
They should the definitive one is John Krasinski.
Thank you. That's what I always
say. Did he want to do it though? That's the question.
Maybe, but in a terrible rendition.
I think he did it. He did it as a fan cast, and they immediately killed him in the worst fucking way possible.
I know, that was terrible. I was excited for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
MCU was really leaning into the fan cast. Sure. They did the same thing with what's his name? Channing Tatum as Gambit.
By the way, Jerry hates Gambit.
That's not a fan.
I don't hate Gambit. I hated Channing Tatum.
That's because Channing Tatum's been trying to get a Gambit movie made for the past fucking decade. We've heard about it almost being made. Like,
that was a joke.
No. What Jerry thinks is a fan cast is that the fans of what? No one has been asking for Channing Tatum to be Gambit. Channing Tatum has been asking to be Gambit for 10 years. That's why it was. No, he literally posted with Ryan Reynolds at Comic-Con over 10 years ago, like 20 years ago, wearing the same Gambit shirt. So he's literally been trying. That's why he thanked Ryan Reynolds for finally making it happen.
I thought he was fine.
I think he was casted in it. They didn't actually go through it at some point.
Yeah, so bro, there was a Gambit film happening with him, and it just never happened.
It's been a while since I've seen X-Men Origins, I actually think Taylor Kitsch is very underrated, all around as an actor. I think
that movie is underrated.
Well, sure, yeah, but that movie, that characterization of the Gambit in X-Men Origins did not feature any attractive or cool qualities of that character of why we should give a shit. This movie Deadpool and Wolverine actually does. I got to see. Oh, he does that shit with his cards?
Yeah.
Interesting. Woo. Yeah, that's pretty fucking cool.
I was
costume.
His cards explode.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it was a good representation. I don't know how I feel about Channing Tatum playing him.
Oh no, he's horrible. That's why when he made the dialect coach joke, it was so funny because it's like, bro, I'm glad you wanted to play him, and maybe he could have got it really perfect, but God, it's fucking so bad.
The dialect thing made it so much worse. If they didn't do that stupid dialect thing with the joke and didn't even land, it wouldn't have felt so silly. But that was partly where
they had to do it.
I think it landed. I thought it was hilarious.
People laughed. Yes,
it.
So someone explained that it's an in-joke, obviously, that I didn't fully get with the accent.
So he's Cajun.
He's Cajun.
Yeah. But for him to do a bad accent, what is that about?
So is Channing Tatum from Louisiana? I feel like that's why he wanted to play the character.
Yeah, and I don't believe he was intentionally doing a bad accent. I don't believe he's capable of doing a good one, and they acknowledged that by having him make that comment about the dialect coach.
Yeah.
Well, that makes me think less of Channing Tatum if he wanted to play this role for so long and he can't even get the accent right.
Well, it's Channing Tatum, first of all, and I don't know. Maybe he just
didn't even have an accent.
So it wasn't a reference to, say, the cartoons of someone else portraying, and then they were criticized for their accent?
Watch X-Men 97. No, it wasn't a reference. No one's been criticized before. Yeah, no. Yeah, it was criticism of him.
And Badger, you're all right. The X-Men 97, that accent was on freaking point.
Yeah,
that thing was chef's freaking kiss on that show.
Shout out to Beau DeMayo.
I mean, hopefully they can bring him back for the second season.
No, they're not bringing him back. No,
we've already talked all the live action X-Men.
Yeah, no, not only are they not bringing him back, they're rewriting the episodes of season 2 that he had done. And so no, you can enjoy X-Men 97 because 2 and 3 is going to be someone else's work.
I mean, well,
was it over his OnlyFans stuff?
I had to unfollow him on Twitter.
That's what they say, and I understand because yes, he is flamboyantly. He was very happy to be gay and thirsty. No, I think having talked to him and heard other behind the scenes, not from him because he's fucking got a bunch of NDAs. He didn't butcher it the way they wanted him to. Even as a gay man, yeah, he made Morph non-binary. And when I asked him why he did that and why he made him have feelings for Wolverine, he goes, well, maybe that was my projection. And many a gay has fallen for a straight. I was like, yeah, I get that. But everyone else, he treated their characters as an actual shepherd of the franchise and what was best for them, the story, and the fans. And that's something I've not seen any other fucking showrunner do as of late, for the most part. Terry Metalis, things like that, sure. But yeah,
So
I think they
you're
fired him
talking
because he
about-
didn't ruin it with ideology, basically. And now they will ruin it. They'll do all the changes that he didn't do. Plus, he actually read all the comics. And we had people on that channel. Shout out to Gooch, Diabolical Souls Presents. We go over all the episodes. We had people on that know the comics backwards, through and forth. They're fucking reading them to him. And Bo, tit for tat, he knew everything in the comics. So they will.
Oh, smart.
I guarantee you the person replacing him from what if or whatever it is doesn't have that level.
Now, here's the question. Did Deadpool and Wolverine make Disney Marvel learn its lesson?
No. God, no. What are you talking about? Sort of. Here, they're trying to course correct. We've already heard from like Chris Gord that they fired a bunch of pronouns in bio writers and behind the scenes. The fact that they got Hugh Jackman and Ryan to do this is the start of them like, well, shit, we need to do something. Yeah. But no matter what money they make from this, they still have to get over Captain America 4 that's been reshot to shit for 5-6 months, and they still have to get over Thunderbolts. They still have to release Agatha all along and Thunderbolts. And then if they learn their lesson through all that, well, we'll see what they do with Fantastic Four, with Beta Pascal, Secret
one
Wars,
lesson
Doomsday.
they need to learn that no one talks about is they need to never take another fan opinion. And that includes myself, so be it. They need to never take a fan opinion seriously ever again. Fan opinions have caused so many L's in Marvel post Endgame. It's not even funny. And
let's not blame the fans for their horrible decisions. I wish they had taken fan choices.
Yeah,
It would be way better. All the fucking fan choices were the good one. I watched the entire season of real quick, Kyle. I watched the entire fucking season of WandaVision, and everyone says Mephisto, only to find out that the showrunner didn't know who the fuck Mephisto was. And then when Doctor Strange should have showed up, Kevin Feige goes, well, we didn't want another white guy to show up and save the day, and so they changed it to some dumb shit. Let's not blame
Kevin Feige.
I want to jump on that. The issue is not the fans. The issue are the fucking SJWs that are chiming in and hijacking shit.
Ideology, woke.
When they hijacked Bud Light,
fired
it's not,
everyone.
These are fans of Bud Light. They're trying to hijack pre-established
brands. They literally don't hire you if you know the comics. Now, that has changed now, but they would literally, if you said you know the comics, you wouldn't be hired. You fucking wouldn't be hired because your melanation isn't enough.
Yeah.
But Stevie, you could get hired, but if you said you know the comics, they wouldn't fucking hire you. That is what they were going for. But if you said you were gay, maybe they would let you in.
Yeah, right. But I also think
it's not even a joke.
I mean, because I do think that the agenda does play a really good part, but I don't want to undermine the lack of effort into telling the future. To me,
that's what it is.
It seemed like Feige did not have a darn plan about what he was going to do.
He hired people that can't write.
Everybody here, think about this. We got a Black Widow movie that happened in between Civil War and Infinity War, when that movie should have came out right before the Avengers movie. Then on top of that, they did not set up the Fantastic Four in the last film, and then you kill off two of your biggest characters and have no good replacements for them. And then on top of that, you put your all into Black Panther, Captain Marvel, and Spider-Man. Sony pulled Spider-Man, if you guys don't remember, and that whole thing went to trash. Chadwick Boseman dies, and they don't recast T'Challa.
It's almost like
that was a fan opinion. That was a fan opinion.
I agree with you, Steven, on that.
And then on top of that, Shuri doesn't earn the mantle. Killmonger literally tells her, "You are just like me." And there is no Bast. When you built this whole random thing up in Moon Knight about all of these guys, so many random storylines were happening when fans were used to a connected universe for 10 years, and you just dive away from it trying to follow the comics. No, you're not following the comics. Feige didn't have a plan, and Feige felt like he could poop out $1 billion film. And that is why Doctor Strange, which is a movie that I like, it still fails because you gave the fans what they want, which I love. The Illuminati was awesome. Tom Cruise, Iron Man should have been in it, but we're not going to go there. But the issue is that when you don't care about the future of your stories and you don't connect them, when you condition your fans to get used to that, of course you're going to fail. Not to mention They put the freaking agenda in the comics, bro. I mean, they put the agendas in the films. Talking about some black girl magic, and I'm black.
Yes. Well,
I'm as
not
inward
if
as
you
they come,
don't
bro.
vote for
And
Joe
you talking
Biden.
about, and you putting race in this, bro? It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. So yeah, man.
No one cared.
And the
Feige
agenda's
is a
just
fucking
ridiculous.
charlatan.
But the other thing too is, it was a fan push to not recast T'Challa. That was the thing that came from the fans.
No, it was
and
an
they should have
activist
done
push.
that.
Which actually went against the
I
wishes
disagree.
of Chadwick Boseman because
Fuck's
he
sake, his
wanted
brother wanted it recast. Jesus Christ. They were all they cared about. Look at the movies they did. Look at what they said. Summer of Love. All they did was chase the ideology from woman boss to strong black male character. All they did was follow the winds of DEI. They didn't give a shit about the story. They didn't do anything logical. Feige doesn't give a fuck about the story or the comics or you. He cares about making money, and that's why a Kevin Feige production was. Let me cook for a second, motherfucker. And he doesn't care about any of this shit, which is why he keeps doing everything ideologically based until that was no longer sustainable, and now we get shit that makes money.
Okay,
So
but how
I
do you
don't think
explain
it's
the
all-
previous phases that went so well?
because it was
Because he
planned
had
out.
an archetype. Yeah. He had the
Was that
main
pre-established?
characters.
And you can help me out with this because I don't know the comics. Were the comics the reliant guide to that success of what happened in phases?
Ish,
They
kind
at
of.
least tried to.
They tried to, yeah.
Okay, so then
Listen, I am not someone that's-
who's responsible for those successes? I mean, Feige is the producer
say the
that stayed
individual
consistently
runner.
throughout there.
The individual show, whichever was in charge of that movie, and depending on how much clout and experience they had, it's their win.
Yeah, but he had the decision making on who was the
Kyle.
creative
Right.
decision
Hey,
maker
Kyle.
on that
Hey,
stuff.
Kyle. So just to give context, because we can't blame everything on Kevin Feige. Because someone, I forget the girl's name, but Feige did shift a lot of his powers. I think her name was like Monica something. But I know that there was a certain a lady that was in charge of.
I think
a
of
lot
Victoria
of
Alonso.
Victoria Alonso, yes, and
She was
I
one
know,
of them, yeah.
and I know that she was one of the ones that ruined a lot of the relationships with the VFX people.
Yep.
And with a lot of the projects going on. Now, that doesn't mean that it is all Kevin. I mean, I do blame Feige, because if you are a leader, you should be able to produce yourself and others. And I don't think he did that well. He just kind of threw her all of these projects and she failed. Kathleen Kennedy, anyways, but
same shit. Same shit. Kathleen Kennedy, Dave Filoni, same shit as a Kevin Feige, and well, now Victoria's gone.
Yeah.
But like, it all starts at failure at the top for not understanding and wanting to push something that no one wanted, and then they hire a bunch of incapable people because male and pale is stale, and then all the people they hire are activists, and like Film Thread exposed all this in the D files. They literally hire people from fucking Tumblr. Stevie, you want people to write a good story, bro? They can't even fucking write. That's the point. And all the people that are good are gone.
I don't think it's just the woke thing. Like, and I don't mean to call it
predominantly
because
it's a vast majority,
bro.
Like as much as anyone else.
I know you don't, but it is, and it trickles down into everything else.
They're making a lot of poor decisions, and it's not just on the woke thing. Yeah, you might be able to make the argument that
it's straight up bad writing.
They didn't recast.
Poisoned water comes from a source. The source is the ideology.
They didn't recast T'Challa, and you could say, because of the diversity thing, and that's why they did it with Ross. But at the same time, if they did recast T'Challa, it would have been a great story, and you would have actually, you built up this character as part of the woke agenda, and then you took him out. So, it's like the woke ideology, it's either woke one way or it's woke the other way, but it's still woke. And it was just a bad decision. And you had the same thing with Captain Marvel. They brought this character in. They brought in Brie Larson. She made a lot of off comments, which that you could say, yeah, that was woke. But aside from all that, she was a failure, not just because she was woke. She was a failure because the girl had no charisma as an actor.
Yeah.
She didn't make Captain Marvel a cool character. Girls that went to line up for that movie, if you asked them if they went to see the Marvels, they'd be like, what? They didn't even know it came out. So there are a lot of bad decisions going on at Marvel. And yes, a lot of it is the agenda, but a lot of it is just poor choices.
100%.
And that's why I think we saw last weekend at SDCC that they're afraid to not bring in people like RDJ, like the Russo brothers, like Stephen McFeely, and all these other guys, because they want to feel like the next couple of big movies that they're putting out are not a risk. And I think that's why they casted Pedro Pascal. And Stevie will tell you, I am not a fan of Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, but the one thing I do think he's going to win me over as Reed Richards because he's a phenomenal actor. I don't think they picked him because of the diversity thing, because that pissed a lot of people off. But I do think he's going to kill it as Reed, and they want to pick people right now that are tried and true and battle tested, rather than people who are inexperienced, because they want to make sure when they're putting out Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, it's not a risk. Because you know what was a risk? Picking someone like Jonathan Majors, as talented as he was, no one knew anything about him. He came into the scene. I thought he did a great job as Kang, but they also put someone else in the room who was a risk and wasn't tried and true. And his name was Jeff Loveness. And Ant-Man Quantumania had some of the corniest dialogue in all the movies. Yeah. That scene after they met Bill Murray's character and they're driving off in the ship and they're like, why didn't it work? It wasn't you, baby. I mean, I literally felt my body cringe every time I heard that line. So there's a lot of poor decisions, and you couple that with the woke agenda, which already drives everyone nuts. I think
you don't have to separate those two things. The poor decisions, because the woke agenda led to them hiring people that are not capable. Thus, if you follow it back up the chain, it's all the same.
They're intermingled.
But it's not. My point is, some of the bad decisions, the intent isn't to make a woke decision, and it's just a bad decision. Just because it's a woke person doesn't mean they have a woke intention with everything they do. As much as you're right. Suck.
So a little bit of the problem is, a lot of the problem is, I'm going to step away from Marvel for a second just to make my point. With what the fuck is her name? I forget the actress's name, but who played Reva, right? You take
Moses Ingram.
Yeah, thank you. You take someone in because of their skin color, gender, or whatever. You're judging. You're basically anti-MLK. You're taking them because of their external features and not because of their skills, and then that sets them up to fail because they're not ready to get there. Like Amanda Stenberg.
Oh, she's a good actress. She was good in Queen's Gambit. It's just a shitty character that they inserted and didn't need to, and they did it precisely for those points.
But what I'm saying is, if you're taking someone just because of like what they look like and not because of their skill set, you will set them up to fail.
Right. That's Nia DaCosta. That's a black director they hired specifically, and she was cast, and it failed across every level. That's a more applicable.
I mean, I'd love to know what Stevie thinks about this, actually. Like,
about what? What's up?
About hiring people just based on what they look like and not their skill set or personality or what have you, and then setting them up to fail, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, and I remember Jerry and I were talking about this not too long ago, but I was saying how like a lot of people at DC and Marvel, like their careers have been ruined because of diversity hires, not because they're the best person for the actual job. So, I think that it is selfish, and a lot of people's careers get ruined because of it. I mean, think about the Asian girl from Star Wars: The Last.
Oh yeah,
like she gets no work. You know what I mean? Like she gets no work at all. Which is super sad. And even John Boyega, he hasn't had any big projects. And Daisy Ridley.
Daisy Ridley's about to fuck everyone over again in New Jedi Order.
Yeah, bro. But like Daisy said herself that before she had that convo with Star Wars, she wasn't getting any work. So, and I do understand, like, when it comes to actors, you want to cast the right race, and in some like instances, you want to race change. I'm totally fine with that. But when it comes to a director, I understand why you want someone like Ryan Coogler to direct like Fruitvale Station because he comes from the city life. But like when it comes to a director for a movie, like I think race shouldn't be a question, because whether if you're black or white, I think people still experience, you know what I mean, similar viewpoints.
Yeah, I want to bounce off of what you just said. Little quick story. I had a friend. I moved from Chicago, and I had a friend who was who's older than me, but he was black, and we had this discussion in a fashion store, and we're standing by the racks just conversing, and he's telling me all about these racist interactions that he's had. And I can tell he's trying to like set me straight in terms of, you have no idea what I've gone through, and you don't have these experiences. And I said, you're right, I don't. However, I know what it's like to be hated. I know what it's like to share that feeling in living in the world and being bullied, not for the same reasons, but I know that's what unites us. It doesn't have to be for the same reasons.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but I think that there's a lot of convos that that a lot of people don't want to have, because my wife is white, and we were pretty much the first interracial marriage in my family, and there were a lot of combos that that kind of had to be had there, so. But and I'm a pastor as well, so like I have these kind of convos like all of the time, 24/7. So but I think that when it comes to jobs and stuff, I mean, race shouldn't matter. It's about who's the best person for the job, and period.
It ruins everyone else too. Because remember Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin? When I was a kid, I never thought, it's a diversity because it wasn't a thing.
Because actually,
that's because it was like
he actually.
I know,
like Kingpin.
I know, but that's the point. Is now when we
Yeah,
see someone that's diverse cast, we go, now it has to be the reverse. Oh, it must have been a diversity hire, and they have to prove that it's. And they did that, not us.
Yeah.
They did that.
Yeah, 20 plus years ago, if that happened, it was
same
a
thing with gay. Like we talk about the Birdcage and other movies.
Like,
yeah.
They ruined all of that shit. And they have actively created bigots and homophobes because of how hard, and they came for the kids basically, but how hard they went with it.
Yeah. And I mean, what I've noticed over at least the last 15 years, maybe a little bit more, is that the quality of writing, just wholesale, like if you're reading anything online, I'm not talking like the Tumblr bullshit, but like papers of record, like the New York Times or CNN or Fox News, the writing has been fucking atrocious. Like everything's down to the colloquial, like, we're just chatting like this. It's like, no, like back in the day, the New York Times was like the most well-written thing. Wow. And I'm staying away from like the media thing. It's the quality of writing just overall across the board has gone down.
This is also, by the way, I think it's like the perfect time for the DCU because listen, Marvel's either going to figure it out and the next Avengers cycle is going to go well, or it's not. But I do think that someone like James Gunn, I do think he's going to bring some new innovative stuff to the genre that we haven't seen before. And I'm stoked for it. And, listen, Superman is not my priority project for the DCU at all. I'm a huge Green Lanterns guy. I'm stoked on the Lanterns. It's going to be crazy to see Hal and John. We've also never seen John in live action. And the Batman, John Diggle with Damian Wayne, who, by the way, is going to be a fan favorite.
We saw him at the end of the Snyder Cut that I know you didn't watch, but we have seen him in live action.
I actually watched the Snyder Cut, and I enjoyed it.
He's at the end.
I just think the fans online are intolerable and ridiculous. But
of every sort.
Thing. I think that Damian Wayne is going to be a fan favorite because when there's a savage like 10, 12-year-old and he's Robin and Bruce can't keep him in line, kids are going to fall in love with him. And, that's something we haven't seen. And listen, a new character like that, I think could have a similar impact like that Miles did when Into the Spider-Verse came out.
Yeah, not to mention other content too. I mean, like Game of Thrones is doing their thing right now. There's a Harry Potter series that's going to be coming out that JK is doing, which I'm really excited for. I mean, like there's other brands too, that are. I mean, like James Bond is going to start. By the way, do not watch that Batman show on Amazon. I literally just watched the whole thing. Do not waste your time.
Watch the first episode. I have to cover it, bro.
Now
I have to cover it on a stream, like one episode per stream with these guys.
Badger.
The first episode alone.
Badger. Bruce Wayne was having a conversation, and literally everybody in the scene was still. Like it looked like someone messed up. I mean, it is atrocious. So don't even waste your time. But yeah, there's so many other brands that's doing it. Like Lord of the Rings is also doing a Hunt for Gollum. I mean, like there's so many good movies that's in the works that we all should be excited for.
So many caveats to everything you just said. Yeah. Best interpretation. If it all goes beautifully, I mean, all those properties would be great.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
I don't know. I'm hopeful. Maybe.
Yeah.
Some are going to be better than others.
James Gunn is too quirky for a lot of those stories. I think he's too weird.
He's using Tom King, who fucking single-handedly destroyed Batman in the comics, to be an advisor for Batman Brave and the Bold. So I have not much hope for that. We'll see. We'll see what kind of Batman we get.
No.
Did you read the whole Tom King run?
Tom King is doing Supergirl, bro.
You don't like it?
I love it.
He's going to be with. He's also helping with Batman Brave and the Bold.
Hey man, we'll just have to.
And yeah, I'm not a fan of Batman being left at the altar and then turning into a broke fucking loser that alienates himself from the entire. It only gets worse under Zdarsky too. So yeah, I don't know. Let's hope that he can back away all the.
We'll see next year, man.
Thrown at him. I hope, man.
I like Zdarsky too.
Badger, if it's good, I'll be calling you up.
We'll see. Oh, I'll still be doing streams and videos, and maybe you can come on someday. We'll talk about it.
If it's good,
rematch.
Well, speaking of,
I win either way.
Yo, guys, time out. This guy, Mr. Anti-Idiotic, he goes on our live stream too and posts this 7 times a stream.
Yo, that's so true.
He goes around and does this. Oh my god.
Must feel strongly about it.
Oh, dude. Well,
we had to I think we had to delete some of those comments. That's hysterical.
It's just funny that he pops up on you guys' stream.
Did you say he makes 7 comments always and only?
No, he just
counted
a lot of. No, I think I said we had to delete some of his comments
because he commented it like 70 times. Like he just kept commenting over and over.
I thought 70 times.
And it's always borderline weird.
I thought he's like OCD. I'm only gonna do 7, and that's it.
Oh no!
really wants to see Tom Holland with Kitty Pryde. That's like his number.
Oh, that's a thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe he's gonna write some fan fiction.
I don't think it's a thing. I think it's his thing.
Pretty popular these days.
Has that ever happened in the comics? I don't think so. Right?
I don't think so either. Especially no.
I haven't read anything with them.
Someone like Spider-Man. If it did, we wouldn't have forgotten.
Kitty Pryde from X-Men.
Yeah.
He's actually from my hometown, by the way. Just wanted to throw that out there. In the comics, he's from Deerfield, Illinois. That's where I'm from.
Okay.
By the way, Badger, bro, love that sword, bro, behind you.
Oh, yeah, that's the Conan Atlantean sword.
Yeah, it's fire.
Thank you. Yeah, it's the foam version. I was on a stream with Anna, that Star Wars girl, and she noticed it and like brought out like the full actual replica.
Oh, that's hard.
I need to get one of those. Yeah.
Well,
I got the Witcher ones on the other side of the wall there.
Did your theater have
the Witcher is a girly man?
Did your guys' theater have like the alien Romulus, like huge alien statue?
Mm-mm.
Oh, dude, I should take a picture of it next time. It's fucking massive. It's like 8 feet tall. It's like behind plexiglass, so you can't touch it. It's pretty awesome. I'd love to get that. I don't know in a backyard, or I don't even have a backyard. But
I know I was going to say, what backyard?
You got a big backyard in your window right now.
Yeah, but he pays like $5,000 a month for like a little box. You could reach the part of the wall.
Little less than that, but no. You're right. Like New York City real estate is fucking ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I just happened to luck out with moronic landlord.
The laws are not making it any better. It's insane what's going on with the rent stabilized unit snowballing problem.
And people squatting.
Do you see this? Did you know Peter and Kitty dated in the Ultimate Universe? You dumbass.
Bro, I'm sorry. I don't read everything, bro. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
Dude, what did we do to you?
You don't read every single fucking thing. Bro, like I've read a good, like every Batman run since like whatever, like all the original shit to like modern times. I'm still only like halfway through trying to read like all the crazy events. I'm on the Scott Snyder run so I can finish Death Metal.
That's the best. Well, I didn't actually read the Death Metal, but Scott Snyder New 52, I think.
I'm right there, so I can finish with Death Metal because I already did the Dark Knights. But yeah, it's good shit. You just like you said, you got to pick and choose with modern stuff of where you jump on or jump off at.
100%. What do you guys think of the Rippaverse?
I've never read it.
I don't even know what that is. Eric July, he's a content creator who decided to make his own comic, and he built all the infrastructure, his own site, his own crowdfunding now. He's published. I've got ISOM 1, 2. I've got Alpha Core by Chuck Dixon, Yaira. He just had a couple out. His first campaign over 3 million. I don't work for him. I just have seen this a lot, so I've covered him. Anyway, it's good. He now has Rip Ascend. So if anyone here wants to do your comics, you can contact him, and he will print and publish your comics. Like he's
wow.
literally a fucking full-blown
Nice.
independent content
Oh,
creator.
wow.
He's
That
like
sounded
with
like
Todd McFarlane.
Industry veterans. Like I said, Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan
Chuck
work with
Dixon.
him. And he pays far more than DC and Marvel does.
Yeah.
Because he's got his own publishing
Yeah.
and
I
shit.
got ISOM 1 when it first dropped, more to just support just the.
That's how
the
I started
culture
off
for sure,
as,
you know what
right?
I mean?
I kept going for Alpha Core is a fucking banger, dude. Chuck Dixon.
Oh, really?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Chuck Dixon's
That's the
a
one
good
I
name.
didn't get.
I suggest the ISOM. I'm waiting for the third one so I get the full story because
Okay.
3 episodes
Yeah.
of a TV show. Whatever.
Oh, wait, what? A TV show?
No. Sorry, I meant my rule is like 3 episodes of a TV show when I'm judging stuff. So I'm waiting for his fucking story to. But yeah,
okay.
Alpha Core is a banger. Yaira, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love the artwork in Yaira. I think that was the best so far, artwork wise.
R word.
Art.
Oh,
We'll use that word here.
okay.
Artwork.
By the way, to kind of steer it back to Deadpool and Wolverine,
Yeah.
that was I think my biggest laugh in the movie theater was when Blade thought that Deadpool said retarded.
Yeah.
Retarded.
Yeah.
The behind
That
the
was-
scenes of that is so funny
That was
because Wesley didn't like Ryan during the shooting of Blade.
Oh, holy
yeah,
shit!
I remember Ryan
Dude!
was Hannibal King.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
I
Blade
forgot
Trinity,
all
right?
about that.
And they
Oh my
reconciliated
God.
after that, but they kept everyone that public feud going. So he texted
That's
him and
so
said, "Hey, you want
funny.
to be Blade?" And Wesley said, "Yeah, if you can make it happen."
Dude, that's so fucking, that seems like so fucking.
That's
How
why he
did
says
I
that
not
joke.
Get that?
I don't like you. You never did.
I knew
That
that
went
he
over
was
my
in
head.
Trinity, and I
It's-
fucking didn't.
Yeah,
there was a
I
couple
forgot
of
all
them
about
that
that
were deep
issue.
cut jokes. Yes,
Jeez.
yeah, I know.
I know
I need to
there's
see
so
the.
much.
I want to see the film just for that context.
I have
Damn.
enjoyed. I got
That's so
all the
funny.
emotional beats the same way the second time. Like I said, I hope it's the same the third.
When he said to Blade, "I thought you were retard," and Blade thought he said retard. That reminded me of when I was a kid. Down the road, there was a school teacher. He told us he was a retired school teacher, and I was real young, and I was like, "You're a retarded school teacher."
Oh my god.
Very progressive, Sin.
I don't know, for
And
me,
so
that kind of
when
felt
that
like.
line happened in the movie, it was particularly hilarious for me.
I mean, for me, that kind of harkened back to Tropic Thunder.
Yes. Well, the ableism joke when
Yeah.
she stood up,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
thought it in my head.
Yeah.
I thought it because and then when he said, "Oh, ableism, great." The one that
Yeah.
got me is I thought I wasn't gonna like her, Cassandra, when I loved a lot of it. When she said, "I'm gonna do it while flicking my bean to the Enya
Oh my
box
god,
set,"
yes.
I fucking fell in love. I can save her. I can save her. Yeah,
That
this shit
didn't
was great. It
sound
was
like
an
something
Enya
she would
box
say,
set.
though.
What?
That doesn't sound like something she would say.
That's why it's funny. It's a non sequitur, fucking out of nowhere.
No, that sounds like a Deadpool joke. It didn't sound like some. It just sounds like, oh, that's
Thank
the same
Sin.
writer who's writing the
Thank
Deadpool.
God, I was able to enjoy it the way I have. I'm so happy. All these motherfuckers that went up just like bing, bing, finally,
Dude,
and a
that was
sea of
actually-
crap.
That
You
was
can't
a
have every
great
character
line.
sounding like Deadpool. That doesn't
No,
work.
no. So I'm just gonna disagree with you, Kyle.
I
'cause
didn't think
I-
they all did.
I-
I
didn't
I
either.
found that line not Deadpool. I just stand alone. That shit was fucking.
I found it
funny.
crazy
To
because
the
she's fucking
Enya
crazy.
box set, and then Deadpool was like, "Enya made a box set."
I didn't even pick
so
up on
good.
that part. See, I've got to watch it again.
Oh, it's
Third
time.
so many quick ones.
I know
yeah.
there's.
Oh,
There,
yeah.
I
And
caught a lot
behind
of stuff the first time. I love the
visual
little
jokes.
wink to the camera when he was talking about
Yes.
pegging and Disney.
Oh yeah.
and then Blade saying there's only going to be
Yes.
one Blade. I was like, yes.
Dude, Mahershala is gonna. Wesley even said he was surprised they let him do that because of Mahershala. But it's like,
Yeah.
bro,
Yeah.
he's had that role since 2019.
I am not
He
interested.
hasn't had it unless
in
he's
the
been on
Blade
fucking
movie.
screen, man.
Right. Well, I
Yeah.
think they actually might have paid him something
I'm
to like
not-
not leave. But yeah,
I
what
don't
are they
plan to
doing,
watch
dude?
it.
Well, I mean, I know what they're
never
doing.
liked him in the role. I never
Blade
liked
stole-
Mahershala.
by the way,
is
I
good.
think Blade stole the movie nearly. I
Yeah,
think
a little bit,
I'm like that's who I'm thinking of right now. In
Yeah.
the,
That was so much
What
fun.
are you
context
thinking
of the
about him
movie.
doing?
That was a big surprise. So-
What's he wearing when you think about him?
ice skates, trying to skate uphill.
And yeah, Elektra was good, and I love the joke about Daredevil because obviously she was married to Ben Affleck, who was
Yes.
Daredevil in the first
Oh
one. and it was-
God!
no, sorry about
that,
that.
oh, that was such a terrible.
It's okay.
Shafted. No, that was like. Hold
I
on.
thought it was
I have
fun.
a little bit. Okay, there's a mixed bag of feelings when it comes to Ben Affleck. he
fourth
made
wall.
a stupid fucking decision about Hopez.
Mhm.
But it's like, in terms of the context of his career, like with Daredevil, I honestly thought he was going to be in this film. I
think
really
he is
thought that.
Daredevil.
I thought he was too.
I thought he was too. Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you keep that he also made a Hugh? He also made a joke to Hugh Jackman's divorce too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it was subtle.
he did.
It was
Yeah,
subtle.
subtle, but
What
he
did he
said
say?
it, bro. He
What
said
did he
it.
say?
Oh.
Remind me, because there was
Remember,
so much.
do you remember what area it was? Because I'm
Yeah,
trying to.
we-
Because it is a bunch
Near
of
the
rapid
beginning.
fire.
I'm pretty sure it. I'm pretty sure it was when he dragged Wolverine into the
in the Honda
Right.
TVA
Odyssey.
place.
Is the void or the when he comes into the the TVA office
and
thing?
then he
Yeah.
made a divorce comment. I think he
That's
said like
fun.
I think he said like he's lost something pounds since the divorce. So something.
Oh,
yeah.
He's lost. You know what? I didn't even equate because I forgot that he got divorced really recently.
Oh, did he
Well,
say
we
he
all
let
know
himself
why,
go?
right?
He let himself go.
He's
during-
not-
After,
you think he's
since
gay?
the divorce or
I
something?
really do think he's gay.
Just
There's-
because he's
there-
Australian and loves Broadway show
Well,
tunes
there-
and
One
very
right there.
flamboyant.
There's
Yeah.
been
You get to
long-
decide which one I'm talking about.
There's
I'm not
been
saying-
long-standing rumors about that.
I'm not saying he hasn't pinged my gaydar for 20 years, but he was married to a beard.
What do you guys think
So was
about
John
RDJ
Travolta,
coming
man.
back?
So was he married to Kelly Preston?
It doesn't
we
matter,
know-
man. I don't care if he is.
Well-
He's still my Wolverine.
So,
Oh no! That's not
I know,
for me to
I
say
know.
like, oh no, he's a lesser actor in Wolverine. He's fucking great, and he
He
always
is,
has been
yeah,
great.
phenomenal
And he
in
set a
the role.
fucking record, and he deserves utmost respect for portraying that role and to commit to the performance that he does in Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, the scene in the car and
Yeah.
a couple of other ones, it brings about the discussion of, are we really going to, for the award seasons, really going to ignore performances like that? He is
He got
so
me with both of
fucking
them.
committed
Yeah, he was
to
good,
the
man.
role. He is
Yeah.
delivering that as if in the same intention and energy as he would in the movie Prisoners or something of that ilk. He's
He takes it seriously.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
he was fantastic in the role.
Utmost respect.
I wanted to mention something about a particular cameo that surprised the heck out of me, because I did stay away from a lot of stuff on social media. So some cameos were a surprise. Obviously, so when Chris Evans shows up, that was a surprise. And then when he does the whole thing that he does, the flame on instead of Avengers Assemble, but something my brother sent me from 9 days before the movie came out.
Uh-oh.
And he hadn't paid attention to anything. He didn't know it, but he was just like speculating this would be cool if. And he mentioned this to me after I'd already seen the movie. This is what he wrote on Reddit 9 days before the movie came out.
Total speculation.
Total speculation. He said, yeah, complete speculation, because he hadn't told me, he hadn't seen trailers, he hadn't seen anything. He said, I can see it in my mind. He knew there was going to be cameos, right? He says, I can see it in my mind. He rolls up and is about to say something. He's referring to Chris Evans. And Deadpool says, oh my God, he's going to say the line, Avengers Assemble. And then Chris says, flame on. And then Deadpool looks at the 20th Century Fox logo destroyed on the ground and goes, oh, right, wrong universe.
Your
Got
guy's
it
a
in two
pop
parts.
culture soothsayer.
I
Yeah.
tell you, I said, and he asked me, did that happen? Did that happen? I said, everything except the very last part.
Hey, so were you
that
guys
was funny.
expecting the whole entire Fantastic Four, like, or
No, not at all.
No, I wasn't either.
No, I didn't.
But that moment did get me. I really did think, oh, they're doing a Captain America variant.
was it by the way
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
landed
You
on
know?
the ground?
I loved the reveal when he
Well,
did
it's
it.
funny, like
That's
when
amazing.
when Human Torch got flayed, Ryan Reynolds is like, yeah, that's enough screen time. We can't afford any more.
Yeah.
Okay,
Killing
so
the budget,
all right,
yeah.
cute joke, but I really probably at the top of my list of things I did not like about the film is how they just dispatched him like that. I really hated that. I did.
When she took the skin off his bones down.
I hate cameos, man. I like, as much as I,
Well, don't
have
make
fun
it a
with that
cameo.
movie.
Make him a character integral to the plot.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I just hate it. I didn't like that because
And-
as much as those Fantastic Four early 2000s movies stunk a lot of the time, he's fucking good as Johnny Storm, man.
Yeah.
He was
Oh,
really
yeah.
good. He was one of the highlights of those iterations.
Bro,
And
those are
to
my
see
favorite.
him back, first of all, I think they could have brought more of a head-to-head between he and Deadpool when it comes to the one-liners and trying to have a dick
100%.
measuring contest. They didn't do enough of that.
Yeah.
Until it's revealed later that, oh no, he actually did say something Deadpool-esque, and that's what got him killed. Again, they shouldn't have killed him in that way, and I don't think they should have killed him at all. I hated that.
Like, there's wisecracking characters like Human Torch, Deadpool, Spider-Man. So I agree with you, Kyle, that they should have kept them in the movie longer just to get that interaction with Deadpool and them talking shit to each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe Cassandra uses some devices or some metal strips of some kind and wraps it around his head or his body and locks him up somewhere. And then Deadpool says, "Good, because there can be only wisecracking right now for me." Like something like that. Like I'm the only one that can make jokes right now.
Right. Yeah.
There's still a billion other Johnny Storms. Some of them still look like Chris Evans. I was all right with it.
So
he really meant it.
Let me know what you guys think of this. Casting Glenn Powell as the Human Torch.
I mean, yeah, it could work.
Right?
Yeah, I gotta say though, I'm as much as I like Glenn Powell, I'm really happy with Joseph Quinn. I think that was a great choice.
No. Yeah, I mean, I like Eben Moss Bachrach.
Yeah,
he's
great
on the bear. I think his voice would be pretty good for the Thing. I guess we'll see.
The Thing is the sleeper. He is the one that drives the emotional depth in Fantastic Four stories. Like, he's going to be a breakout star more than people realize.
Also, bro, Ralph Ineson as Galactus, that voice is going to be insane, bro.
So where exactly do you guys, because you guys know the comics a hell of a lot better than all of us do, where do you think the story is going to go? Because they're saying it's going to take place in the 60s.
Okay.
Is it another
retro timeline?
I'll have you guys question.
So,
clarify what we're talking about.
You talking about the RDJ
I was looking at the
casting?
comic.
we're talking Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
What we think they're doing with the movie, with the comics.
Okay.
Stevie, you want to go first?
Yeah, so and by the way, I love the Fantastic Four. I'm a Fantastic Four simp. By the way, Hickman's Fantastic Four. Anyways, so
Stevie, have you read the original Trial of Reed Richards?
Yo, you wanna know what is so funny about that, bro? You know what is so funny now? My dad doesn't read comics, but that is the only comic book run that he talked to me about, which is actually it's funny.
I mean, because it's before we were born.
Yeah, well, it's just funny because my pops literally just talked to me about that like 2 weeks ago. It's funny you say that. But no, I have not read that yet at all. Jerry told me to start with Hickman, so that's kind of what I've like dove into, and now I want to start going back.
Oh, your mic just cut out.
Your mic just cut out.
Oh, your mic. Yep.
Just as this was getting good.
I think he'll get it back.
Jerry, what do you think they'll do?
I am really hoping they go into Hickman is my favorite Marvel writer. I think that he is in a league of his own. There is no writer that puts out stories like his or sagas like his. And given the fact that we know that they're coming from one universe to another, and Kevin Feige actually said something on that Marvel podcast that I mentioned. And he was like, there was art that we put out with Human Torch, and the Human Torch was flying above a skyline, and there were a lot of fans that said that skyline doesn't look anything like 1960s New York, and those are very smart fans, seemingly confirming it, right? Mm-hmm. The skyline, by the way, looked nothing like modern day New York. It looks like, the Utopia meme, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And
if it doesn't have the Twin Towers, it must have been before 1973 when they completed the things.
Yeah, to be clear, it's already been confirmed that yes, it's in an alternate world. It's in a retro-futuristic New York.
Okay.
Timeline.
So it's not
no, it's not the prime time. Okay. That's the whole point. Yeah, that's where it's female Silver Surfer is their timeline.
I'm hoping two things. Number one, well, actually three. Number one, that they have something to do with the Council of Reeds, and that has to do with traveling the multiverse. Number two, it has to be big on incursions. They've built incursions up. We know incursions go into the Hickman 2015 version of Secret Wars, which I would argue is the best one. And number three, they've also now mentioned Future Foundation I'm hoping we see Spider-Man in this movie. And normally I wouldn't say that because I don't like to share bandwidth on a movie like this. I think that you really need the Fantastic Four to stand on their own, and you really need to establish them. However, Spider-Man was supposed to be the lead character before the Sony drama, and
you're not talking about Fantastic Four, right?
We are.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Say everything you're saying about Doomsday, and it'll make complete sense. Spider-Man's not going to fucking show up in Fantastic Four, but you might get RDJ Doom to introduce.
Well, here's the thing. They said Future Foundation, and Future Foundation is a variant version of the team, and it's not a variant.
With
Sorry,
Spider-Man on it.
Human Torch dies, and Spider-Man takes the place of Human Torch. And what they say is in the comic, which is also a Hickman comic, they say that we can't have Spider-Man be part of the Fantastic Four out of respect for Johnny, so we're renaming the team to the Future Foundation, and they've already confirmed this is a Future Foundation thing.
Okay.
It's not a very good superhero team name. I gotta say.
Yeah. So I do disagree with Jerry to an extent because I don't want Spider-Man in this at all. And for
you don't
me,
have to worry about that.
And
already talked to people that have seen it. Spider-Man's not in it. Like have seen the beginning scripts and shit. He's not in it,
bro. Cool. So for me, what makes this movie work is, and Reed has to be sold, and I think Pedro was the safe option, but I do think he's gonna, a lot of fans are going to sway his way. Hopefully, after we see some more things done with the film. Like as much as because I do think the chemistry is going to work. I think all that is going to land, but when we're going into Doomsday and Secret Wars, Reed Richards is one of the most important characters that you need to be at the helm, and Reed is also the future of what Marvel is going to do after Secret Wars with other characters as well. But that's kind of what I think lives and dies. Like
is Reed going to be the new Tony Stark? You think?
I think that's what they should do because Reed is the smartest man to ever live. So I would be very upset if they don't sell Reed like that, and if Pedro doesn't, get to that place in this film, because in my opinion, like the mutants and the Fantastic Four, they're the future, and if you don't sell that correctly, then you lose. Now I have faith in him because Pedro hasn't failed me yet. I mean, Mando season 3 was mid, but I don't blame him for that. So we'll see.
Do you think he has the charisma that RDJ did as Tony Stark?
So Reed isn't really as charismatic as RDJ, or as Tony Stark. There's a lot of different.
He's not arrogant
in there. Yeah. Like their personalities are very. So like, Reed is a man that is about his work. Like he will neglect everything. But one thing that also Jerry didn't talk about, which I think he threw me the alley-oop, so thank you, is that Reed's kids are also they are also, and if Nathaniel Richards is in this movie.
You're talking about Franklin. I think you meant Franklin.
I'm sorry. I always say Nathaniel. Sorry. If Franklin is in this freaking movie, man, it changes a lot. And I think Franklin would be the reason why they go from their Earth to our prime MCU timeline.
Mm-hmm.
I think he would be the reason because he's like one of the most powerful characters in Marvel.
Well, he is. He's like the omnipotent. But Franklin also has like another power where he has the ability to birth his own universes, which is pretty cool. And depending on the writer, they're cool stories, and if it's a bad writer, it comes across.
So then, how the hell are they gonna merge everything into one timeline?
Well, I think
do we get another X-Men origin story?
Everything is going to reset.
Here's the big thing. I think that they had to do it this way. I don't know how the Fantastic Four are going to become to the sacred timeline. However, let's look at it from reverse. They can't say that the Fantastic Four have been in the sacred timeline, in the Baxter building, in New York, through the entire MCU, and we've just never heard about them.
Yeah, because they would have shown up in Endgame.
100%. And bro, and Kyle, and I haven't yet to finish this, but I made a whole theory on how Reed could have been worked into this story, and he could have been with Tony helping him make the freaking gauntlet. And I think that they could have done the whole story through that film, like their whole origin.
No, that's legitimate.
Yeah,
a lot of different things they didn't do.
And what also
and finding out about time travel.
Yes,
that actually would have been
exactly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what also makes me question a lot, but by the way, I think Brave New World is going to be awesome. But Thunderbolt Ross is talking about the fact that main team is now going to be in this. So, like, are you starting the X-Men now, or like are they going to be is it going to be a multiversal? Like, so I am really.
Oh, you heard
confused
Animanium
on
now comes from the Celestial,
how the
right?
X-Men are going to get put into the universe with them trying to introduce all of this new stuff.
So the way the trailer looked to me, when you had Thunderbolt Ross and making Captain America an official military position, for me that reverberated a little bit from Captain America and the Winter Soldier, where it was a political spy thriller.
Yeah,
thematically. So that's what it looks like to me. I have no idea what the villain is going to be with what's his name,
Giancarlo
Esposito. Yeah. But I think he might be a throwaway villain, or it just the trailer made me feel like it would be a throwaway villain
because he's a throwaway villain. It's Red Hulk.
So Giancarlo did say that he's doing more stuff after this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he did. He did say that. I don't know. I mean, I thought he was it Washington Bridge, George Washington Bridge, which was like a really big fan thing going around, but he's some other guy. So who knows?
I mean, Marvel has had a very bad issue with villains, like since I don't even know.
Wasting villains.
No, I mean, either wasting villains or just they're all throwaways except for like Thanos, and I can't really think of anybody else prior to Endgame that
Loki
really stands out. Well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean Loki because of Tom Hiddleston's charisma.
Crossbones, he was awesome in Civil War. His suit, that was fire.
Okay, yeah, I mean,
I'd say Hugo Weaving as Red Skull in Captain America: First Avenger.
That was fire.
I wish we got more of that. Because that shit's like the scary stuff, like the Red Skull is to me, that felt like a throwaway villain, where it should have been much, much more.
Well,
like he should have came back for the sequel.
They had some pay disputes or something like that.
Isn't Thunderbolt Ross supposed to be in Thunderbolts?
No. Bro, Norman might be in. I heard Norman Osborn is in it.
I really want to see Norman in that because I think if they put Norman Osborn in Thunderbolts, that could be a sleeper hit. Norman Osborn with the Dark Avengers and that whole Dark Reign storyline, if they lean into that, and I think that, listen, I love Willem Dafoe, but I also think that was a big misstep in No Way Home. They should have introduced the Sacred Timeline version of Norman Osborn.
What does that mean?
But they already announced who the Thunderbolts is, and it's not him. So, and Bucky's going to be a congressman, so he's not even on the team.
But also, bro, we don't know who else could show up in the movie. I mean, that's how. That's how it works. Like they're not going to announce everyone. Like so.
What does that mean?
They reshoot it 4 times with over budget, like $300,000, and they're going to need to make $850,000 to $900,000 just to break even.
Million.
That's just on Captain America, let alone the fuckery that's going on with Thunderbolt. So no, I would not hold out hope for Spider-Man's or Norman Osborn's. I'm something of a Thunderbolt myself. Yeah.
Jerry, what do you mean by you don't think that in No Way Home that a secret timeline?
So I wanted to see.
What does that mean in terms of the casting?
I just wanted to see that was a complete side point, but I think No Way Home, as much as I love the movie, I think that one of the things it was missing was any villain from, Tom Holland, Peter Parker's universe. Like it was just a circular movie. It was, they could have fixed it if they went through with Doctor Strange's spell in the beginning. And, I feel like, we never really saw Tom Holland Spider-Man have a real threat of a villain from his own universe. I mean, technically you could say Mysterio because of the consequences, but it didn't feel like that when you're watching Far From Home at the same time.
So, and
I agree with that. But I'm still I don't think you answered my question in terms of you didn't like that they brought back Willem Dafoe. I thought he was fantastic.
I thought he was great.
A different version of Norman Osborn.
if he could have played the Norman Osborn from the MCU universe.
Well,
whether it's
yeah. So
616,
the major thing is in the comics. Norman Osborn has been the Green Goblin for a long time, but starting, I want to say in like the early 2000s, they made him become a more Omega level villain, like on course with like Doctor Doom and Thanos.
Yeah.
Especially with what you mentioned, Jerry, the Dark Avengers.
Yeah. Which is a sick story.
Yeah.
Especially in the Invincible Iron Man run where, Norman takes over Stark Industries and, becomes Iron Patriot. And like he is in an Iron Man suit that's decked out in the American flag. And, everyone thinks he's the hero, but he's really the villain. It was so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so a different version of him, but still played by Willem Dafoe.
I don't even necessarily mean Willem Dafoe, but Willem Dafoe I think would have done a great job.
Yeah,
so
someone else should.
The MCU needs a Norman Osborn. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Clearly, because I'm still saying that I'm bringing it up because I'm wondering if you're gonna. I'm waiting for you to say no. Get someone else to play Norman Osborn.
That's what I think. I want someone else to play it.
I would have been cool either way. I would have been cool,
and I don't think that anyone could do it better than he has because his fucking for one thing, his facial expressions just. He didn't need a mask.
No.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
Yeah, he looked insane.
I would have. To answer your question, I would have been cool with Willem Dafoe playing the MCU version of Norman Osborn or another actor.
Now, here's who would you cast as him?
As Norman? I'm Norman Osborn. It's a good question.
It's like a lot of the names.
Mads Mikkelsen, Cillian, the same motherfuckers
I
you would
love
hire
Mads
for any
Mikkelsen.
villain.
Killian. His name is Killian.
It's Cillian. I've heard him say
Well,
it.
what
But we
about
can say
someone
Killian too.
Pierce Brosnan?
I've heard
Killian.
Killian.
Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew
Yeah,
McConaughey.
there you go. Who's already a Deadpool variant.
Well, no, you pronounce it
that's
Matthew.
right, he was.
It's Matthew McConaughey.
Speaking, so I'm gonna go through some of my notes from the movie because TVA worker number 5 was what the fuck was that? Megan Fox?
Dude.
I did think that, but
it is not. It is not her because, bro. So there was a whole TikTok trend going like where like people were trying to find who she is. I tried to look. I don't know who she is, but
it's not her.
Yeah,
it just looked a lot like her.
Lady Deadpool.
That's Blake Lively.
That's Blake Lively. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So, as far as like RDJ is concerned, how the hell are they doing Doom? You guys are the comic experts.
Jerry, I'll let you take that one.
So I want to say something about RDJ.
Oh God!
First of all, I am not opposed.
Are you going to
RDJ
defend this?
playing
yeah, bro.
No, that's
we
not
are
where I was going to go.
bro.
That's not where I was going to go. I want to call out a lot of people who are complaining about RDJ playing Doom, and it's not really about defending RDJ playing Doom, but you might
Which
take
is
it that
easy
way.
to do. It's very easy to defend this if Kyle needs someone to do that, but go ahead.
Here's the thing. Everyone on Twitter for a long time was like, oh, get rid of Kang, bring Dr. Doom, Well, they did it, and you're still not happy. So, again, I think the MCU would be better off not listening to fan opinions. Everyone on Twitter, shut up, let them cook, and maybe they won't make decisions like not recasting.
Everyone on Twitter is not going to shut up. It's
I know.
a platform for streaming mania.
My qualm has nothing to do with them bringing a certain character back. It has to do with RDJ coming in, and it looks like a completely desperate move and creatively bankrupt decision.
It is, and they are.
There you go.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean he won't be a great fucking Victor Von Doom.
Maybe.
Or the other thing we're hearing that he's a Victor Von Doom, and this is just so all you motherfuckers will shut up while we get the real Victor Von Doom, which if we believe current rumors is Viggo Mortensen.
I
that would be
agree
awesome.
with Badger.
Mads Mikkelsen would be amazing.
But isn't this a little on the nose? He's already played a villain. He would be, but he's already been Hannibal, and he's already been a villain before. I know we've all played characters saying.
He was the villain.
Yeah, but no, he hasn't done like a mainstream role like this that everyone would know him from.
I could see Viggo doing it though too.
They said they wanted someone with that can do multiple languages.
Yeah.
Vigo fucking speaks Elvish. And has the gravitas.
Yeah, hopefully he
He's
worked that
Swedish.
into the role.
So, by the way, even if it was Robert Downey Jr., my man, you don't think he has the acting chops to completely play a different character, like when he played a black guy in Tropic Thunder or Charlie
He's going to kill
Chaplin?
him, bro.
Or Dr. Doolittle?
Bro, if you want to pick and choose his one shitty role that he did immediately after playing Tony Stark for 10 years, okay, it's a little disingenuous. I think he
What
could
about Oppenheimer?
absolutely
You know what I'm
play a behind the mask Doctor Doom with a Latvian German accent, basically,
Well,
and
there's
be a
also-
fucking
Everyone
dope
forgets
Doom.
that Doctor Doom is super scarred up. Like
I know. Well, they don't
regardless,
know
he's
because
gonna
they've
look
never read those
Yeah.
comics, Jerry.
Yeah.
So
well,
leads them
people
to
get
making
hyped-
comments.
And that's the other thing about people on Twitter. People on Twitter get hyped based on what they read of other people who read comics, and you get a bunch of people who have no idea who Doctor Doom is. They didn't know who Thanos was, and they get all hyped up, and it's like you don't even know what you're talking about. So
Was
please
there-
stop telling Marvel what to do.
Was there ever an instance in the background of all these stories that a version of Tony Stark
Yeah.
ended up being a Doctor Doom?
Yeah,
Okay.
so-
All right. Because I
yeah,
haven't read comics in
So,
decades. I didn't
and
know.
Sin, look up. So
There's
comics,
5 of them at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you don't want to read the comics, comics explained. He did a video on it where he broke down like one of the stories, basically where Victor Von Doom and Tony Stark switched bodies.
Demon
so-
in armor.
Yeah, and
Okay.
That's
armor.
what they're
So
doing.
basically, like the body of Victor Von Doom was like Tony Stark, and then it was the same thing. So like,
Hold
Okay.
on, let me explain to
Or
Kyle.
face off.
So
Yeah.
one of the big runs for Tony Stark was Demon in a Bottle, where he's an alcoholic. This is
Yeah.
a play on that Demon in
I've
armor.
heard of that.
Yeah.
exactly.
So this
Also-
would be revealed that the Fantastic Four, Robert Downey Jr., is a Stark variant in that body, and that the reason that happened is that the actual Doom did all the machinations.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
don't think that's what they're doing.
The
So you think
machinations
that's
of
where-
what?
Here's what
You
I'm
don't-
saying.
That's
People
just-
that know
that's just
far more
one of
than
the
us
stories
that
that-
are there at Comic-Con and in the know that I lovingly have access to are fucking very heavily hinting that that is exactly what they're doing.
Okay.
I don't buy it.
Okay, so to sum
I don't
up,
care
the
who they are,
idea
I don't
is
buy
that they're going to intermerge Stark with Doctor Doom in this way.
It
So
would just be a variant.
that's what people are saying. Now, Kyle, I don't necessarily think that, bro. I think that RDJ is just playing Doom, and I think that's the way it's going to be. And I think that Doom's going to be killed off in the end, and then I think the real Doom is going to come, and then we'll see RDJ back in
You
Iron
think
Man.
they're
That's
paying
kinda
him
what I think
$80
is gonna
I
happen.
million?
was getting ready to
Yeah,
say
here's
that.
the thing.
No, you guys are
getting ready to
delusional.
say
Yeah,
that.
you guys
No,
are,
here's
talk about
the
not
thing. I
listening to
agree on the
fans.
80
Put
million
yourselves
because-
in this.
They're not paying him
That's funny.
$80 million to only do Doom as a couple of movies. And I don't think they're bringing him back as Iron Man, at least not in the planning yet. Here's the thing.
Oh, he's coming back
Why-
to Iron Man Secret Wars for sure.
We have never gotten a legit Doctor Doom in live action ever.
No, we haven't.
Why would they bring in RDJ for $80 million to do some random variant of Doctor Doom rather
because
than not just
he's
have him
going
play
to be
Dr. Doom?
because he's coming
But they
back
also-
as fucking Iron Man for the movies. That's why. That's ultimately what this leads
Yeah,
to.
bro.
They could
That's
do
why,
that.
because he's Iron Man, bro.
Number one, they could have him play Doctor Doom and Iron Man, and I'm more.
They are.
How
willing
the
to believe
fuck is that going to work when they look this? How if
Parents,
he's
bro,
Doctor
Dr.
Doom?
Doom
Doctor
is
Doom is
wearing
part of
armor
in the
and
90s.
style.
Lindsay
Tony
Lohan
Stark.
played twins. Okay.
Well, they can
Uh,
fix up his face, and he won't even look
Yeah.
like him.
Also,
Yo, Kyle, the
Probably
parent
came
will.
trap,
out
bro.
in a Victor Von Doom outfit, and they said he's playing Victor Von Doom. I'm sorry. All these theories about he's playing this variant or that variant, I think it's all ridiculous.
He's Victor.
Playing Doctor Doom. Take it to the bank.
Well, no.
Jerry,
so-
guess what, motherfucker? Because that smugness, I hate that shit. I will see you on
I know
stream
you
when
do.
you are proven wrong. I can't wait.
I
Look
can't
at-
wait.
more than
I
welcome.
can't wait.
Look at Badgers have
I will-
long memories.
I will bring my smug ass face. And
Bring
remember,
it. Let's go.
I'm not humble.
Now
I'm not
I'm
humble.
to the
You should
movie.
be. By the way, that was the other thing. You won't get far not being humble. Humble and gratitudinous is the fucking where it's at.
I've
Humble
gotten
and
far.
gratitudinous.
So
I've
Badger.
gotten
So I'm going to agree with Badger, but with the way that everybody thinks. I think it's a monetary thing. They won't be able to bring in RDJ at $80 million a pop because the next movie that they would want an RDJ as the Doctor Doom, he'd probably want 100 million.
Well, it's all
and then
pooled
120
together.
million.
Mm.
And at that point, you're just pricing it out because you're not even going to break even.
He's being paid, by the way, for
It's
Secret
definitely a
Wars
one-off.
and Doomsday.
They-
It
Yeah,
is
I was
probably
both.
wondering
settled
if
the
it's
entire
for
deal at this
multiple
point.
movies, yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's going to get a shit ton of back end given the assumption that this is going to gross as much as Endgame, which I'm skeptical about that happening.
Russo brothers.
That's my issue with the cameos. I feel like so many fans are just like so into the cameos that now they do cameos and the trailers do better based on cameos. And I'm worried that they're going to continue.
It's called
doing
the
that
multiverse, bro.
nonsense.
Obviously, they don't have cameos.
Bro, but they need people to be bought into the story and not just cameos, and that's a big problem.
That was Deadpool
Yeah, but they didn't
Wolverine.
do that.
The Deadpool
No, but
Wolverine
hold
wasn't
on. They didn't
cameos.
advertise the cameos in the Deadpool Wolverine.
Well, they said there were going to be a lot of cameos, and Deadpool
They were being
and Wolverine is
leaked,
not
but
the only one.
they definitely weren't. From what I understand, they weren't heavily advertising them in the trailers, right?
And that's what we're talking about.
Okay.
If you're saying, oh, there was word on the street of the internets that there were cameos.
I think people
we're
were just
talking about the
interested
marketing
because
in the
it was
trailers and the
Wolverine and
TV
Deadpool.
spots.
Yeah.
I think Deadpool and Wolverine is a little bit of an outlier in that one, but even before last weekend, for a long time, I've had people in my DMs like, do you think Iron Man's going to be in Secret Wars? People ask me that question all the time. It is so annoying. And, my answer is, at this point, $80 million, yeah, he might be.
Well, so someone mentioned the color of the lettering.
Oh yeah,
That's
I
kind of
saw
a
that
giveaway.
Blu-ray or whatever the name is on X. Yeah.
I don't remember who it was.
I don't
It
really
was
think
just
that. I don't really think that
No, it was
means
Blu-ray
anything
Angel.
crazy. But yeah, it's the
the coloring looks like the Iron Man gold and red or something.
Who knows?
Hot Rod
You
Red.
never know. It might be. It might be. Who knows?
Yeah, but like I said, I'm with Badger. This is going to be a one-off with RDJ. They just can't afford it.
It's not a one-off as far as RDJ's involvement, and I don't even know when that switch is going to happen.
Bring him in as a producer or something.
I'm fairly sure he's going to be introduced in Fantastic Four and will be Doom for most of Doomsday, for the eventual switch reveal to be that in Secret Wars.
Y'all just disagreed with me. I thought because I just said the same thing. I said that he's literally going to be Doom until after Doomsday, and then he's going to die off, and then he's going to come back as Iron Man.
You did say that.
Yeah, but I guess I'm not thinking the die-off replacement thing. I'm not sure how they're going to switch them, but it will just be revealed that the Prime Sacred Timeline is not the Robert Downey Jr. one.
And bring in the real Doctor Doom.
Right.
What do you think they're
one.
going to do with? How do you think they're going to get around the Kang thing? I think they're just going to have.
I
Doom
don't even
kill
think
him
they're
off
going to
real
admit
quick.
it. I think they're going to talk.
Yeah,
I think
probably
they're going to
basically
acknowledge
ended
it.
his
They're going
story,
to pretend that it never happened.
You could just say
That's
that Loki
Yeah.
pruned him away because
Loki ended his story, bro. He's done.
No. So
I hate
the
that.
way they're
I hate
doing
that.
away with Kang is to bring in the council of Reed Richards.
But he's already
Council of
gone.
Richards.
That's
I-
who's asking
No,
for
no.
more Kang?
No.
I am. I love Kang.
I'm sorry to hear that. I hated him.
It's going to be Reed Richards, essentially. That's what we were talking about before and what Stevie mentioned.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But the point is,
I
in universe, will they ever mention Kang again? And I'm saying no, I don't think they will.
No,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Hell no. Yeah. And they can't because, well, Jonathan Majors is a wife beater. So,
Which, by the way, say allegedly, because you can get sued for saying it directly like that. But also,
Right.
if you actually cover those stories,
You
he
see
got a
those
lot
videos?
of stuff taken to him too. He was running away.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
yeah.
defensive. Let's just say he
It's-
wasn't.
he also answered
be
the
sure.
TMZ
He was a bitch.
stuff the other day
But-
perfectly, and I gotta
Yes,
say,
he did.
because I did follow some of the story, and it does seem like he kind of got, listen, I don't want to get into it.
No, it's
but
they asked
if
him
he-
about this replacement, and he was very he was very nice and said his heart
he
goes
was
out to
super nice.
Yeah.
He answered every question perfectly. You couldn't watch that video and not feel bad for him.
The point is, I don't think and I think they've even said this, he did not get fired from that role because of any of the domestic controversy. It was because it didn't bring in the numbers and they weren't happy with that performance that they chose only after seeing him at the end of
Which is
Loki.
crazy though, because and that's another issue I have with post Endgame MCU is I don't think it was Jonathan Majors' fault. I think it was Jeff Loveness's fault that
A large amount of it is him.
Jeff Suckness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Large
Yeah.
amount, yes.
That dude should have never been writing for a Disney company. Like, he is not talented. He's not skilled. You want to talk about
Leslie Headland, but
you want to talk
she
about
is
someone
anyway.
who lets their agenda get in the way? Jeff Loveness is that guy.
Well,
Yeah.
they're doing that too much. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Disney.
Waldron though, he's been great. His Jeff Loveness's counterpart, he's been good.
We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, Paul,
Yeah.
the amount of money they're shelling out for RDJ, and you're saying, I don't know if they could afford that. And you think about all the other sums of money that they've just thrown at a whole bunch of other projects and other
Sure, but
non-talented
how
creatives.
much?
They
how
can
much
do
afford
that
RDJ.
much longer.
How much
They
money
will
can
pay
you
the
keep on
money for
losing
best
as a
believe.
company before you fucking
Right.
just run out of cash?
All the money that they just made, they're going to lose, or at the very least, not make money on the next
Yeah.
2 movies and
Yeah.
TV shows.
Yeah.
Not true. We don't know.
Oh,
yet.
100%, bro. 100%.
By the way,
No,
I think
yeah.
Brave New World is going to be an absolute banger.
Same
If-
here, bro. I can't
If
wait.
it doesn't,
I like that
to
last
make
trailer.
At least $1 billion.
Oh, I have no interest in that movie.
It's definitely
at
not
all.
doing $1 billion.
I'm
Well,
not
that's what I'm
watching
saying,
it.
bro. They've been it's reshot so much. The amount they've
Yeah.
spent, that when you account for all of the reshoots and marketing, they have to make
Yeah,
800,000
they're
or 800
so
million
far in
plus
the hole
just
on
to
that
break
thing.
even. Just to break even, not even to make a profit.
No.
So yeah,
I
and if
don't-
the
I don't think
lawsuit
it's
with
gonna do
Gina
well.
goes through, and if the
Yeah,
parks
they'll
shut
market it
down
and
because
sell
of
it
that
in China.
strike, and the ESG money is drying up because everyone sees that woke is shit, so that the head, those Black State Street, Vanguard, all that stuff, BlackRock, they're all drying up, and of course they're rebranding as Bridge. But the point is they have to start making good shit, and they're starting to, but that's a long course correction.
Yeah, and like
Long course correction.
like Jesse Grant mentioned on his channel, they have to do like 5 or 6 movies really well, like Deadpool and
Yes.
Wolverine level,
Yeah.
before you could say, okay, the ship turned around.
Yeah.
If they can
Agreed.
recapture the greatness of what Winter Soldier did in this Brave New World movie,
Yeah.
then they're going to be on the right track with that.
Looks
Because
good,
I think
Paul.
that what's great about what the previous iterations did was that it was capturing different genres in different movies. Like Guardians was this quirky space opera that was, the cantina scene in Star Wars to the hilt, dialed up to 11.
Film.
But then you have a conspiracy thriller in Winter Soldier. If you have these encapsulated different genre pieces,
Yeah.
that's where you can appreciate the films on their own, but still they're in the same universe, and that's okay, even though they're different with each iteration.
Kyle, that's a great take. Great take, bro.
Yeah, and I mean that's the feel that I got from the Brave New World trailer, that it's harkening back to Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Yeah.
The person I spoke to who actually saw it, saw the old cut that was shitty and saw the new cut, said that it is now basically just an action movie,
Okay.
which is fine. It's the
Yeah.
best that they could hope for, as opposed to what it was that made them
What
reshoot
was
it.
the what was the
January
Something
6th
like that.
analogy with
Oh.
overtones of the president being Trump, and then they reshot it all. Brought in new
Okay.
writers, reshot the action scenes, reshot the story, brought in Gino Carlos for stuff.
Yeah, I knew they had done all these rewrites.
Yeah. And
and
so now it's
reshoots
just an
and
action
everything.
scene. Now it's just or an action film, basically.
Hopefully they're making it better.
Yeah, he said it was good. I mean, for what it is, said it was way better than the original.
I mean, I don't mind Anthony Mackie. I don't mind Sam. What the hell?
Wilson.
Sam Wilson.
Yeah.
He's fantastic as the Falcon. Like,
Agreed.
Greatest Falcon.
Just-
Yeah.
I'm not buying him as Captain America.
Well, no one is.
I don't think he can carry it.
No,
It depends. Like, look, I really do appreciate Anthony Mackie. I think he is a really
Me too.
good actor and he's
He's a treasure.
charismatic. It's just, I hope the line in the theater when I was in the theater watching the trailer it was the new trailer.
You're not
For the-
Steve
for the-
Rogers.
Yeah, and when it was like it's slightly ambiguous in how he delivered that line. You're right. I'm not, and it's just. Is he trying to supersede Steve Rogers? I mean, they're friends, right? He's not
Did you
going
hear
to
what
look
he said?
poorly on him.
That he might not have super soldier serum, but that Anthony Mackie, but that his Captain America's super powers is his humanity.
Okay, that's cheesy.
Implying that
so-
the original Captain America had no fucking humanity. Like, what are we talking? That was
Right,
that was
it's-
Steve's fucking power too.
You're right on point with that. I agree with everything you're saying. So somehow Mackie has to make his own version. What they did in that TV series on Disney Plus was a
Oh, it was
shit show.
Terrible.
Yes.
And
Oh,
a
yeah.
fucking
Awful.
terrible costume. It looked like I did a post on my IG story, and I did this comparison where I found a Super Soaker from the 90s and put the picture of him in that white and blue suit that was like, and he's got the guy. It looked like a Super Soaker swallowed him up or something.
yeah.
He
So-
still has those goggles.
It's terrible fucking costume from that show. Not to mention the content in that.
Well, the writing
should have been
was
Bucky.
That absolute terrible speech
Yeah, it
that
should
he
have been.
gave
Hey,
in
Kyle.
the street.
Yeah.
Kyle,
Woo!
you need to do better.
Hey,
Yeah.
Kyle.
You do better.
Oh, yeah,
man.
yeah, you're right. And you need to tell me with a finger in my face.
You do better,
Hey, Kyle.
Senator.
Hey, Kyle, bro. So when Mackie or so when Sam said when Ross said you're not Steve and I keep saying Falcon. For some reason he's just
It's
on my
the same. He's still
Anyways,
kinda
but-
is, yeah.
Because we all know that's who
Yeah.
he really is.
But Sam, he was like, no, I'm not. I mean, I kind of read it as like maybe Sam's going to get his hands a little dirtier than what Steve would, and Steve gets dirty. Pause. That sounded a little but like Steve can get
Fan
down there,
fiction.
but I think that Sam is figuring out that like he has to, as you said, find his own way.
Yeah.
But I also think that he's going to get his hands dirty in a sense that he's never seen himself, go to at this point. And I kind of felt that way when I saw him just fly into that ship and just kill whoever's in there. Like it seems like Sam is going to be on a savage type of level.
Also-
Yeah, and that would inform his arc. So
Mhm.
I think you are picking up on some things that are possibilities that are likelihoods in that arc within his character, because we haven't seen him go to a dark place.
Exactly.
So that is a good take on that. In the midst of that, there could be, because to Badger's point about the super serum, does that mean that maybe he needs to take some super serum?
So I have a working theory that Sam in the final battle will have it.
Interesting.
I like this. I mean, this is like, I'm hopeful for this movie, even though it's in the midst of the shit and the wokey shit that Marvel is doing. But maybe we're turning a corner here.
Bro, the Red Hawk, oh my god. The Red Hawk, I mean, that thing was fun. I mean, look, and by the way, the leader, I mean, they kind of just tried to like just brush it on us, a little
Wait,
bit. I mean,
the leader was in the
he's more
trailer?
behind the scenes. Yeah, bro,
No,
he
but
was in it.
But he's going to be in the thing also.
He had on a hat. But apparently he's the one that's making all of these things happen behind the scenes. Which I think is another interesting thing that they, can do also. So I mean,
Yeah.
and with the new Falcon, I mean, there's some new stuff that,
Yeah. I
they
mean,
can capitalize on.
Megan the Texan is saying, yeah, she's sick of seeing Esposito as the villain. He's a great villain. I think his two major ones obviously are Breaking Bad, but also Far Cry 5, or sorry, Far Cry 6. He did a fantastic job. But yeah, I'd love to see him in a good guy role, which this doesn't look like it's going to be.
I wish he was king, but it's whatever.
That would he would have made a fucking fantastic Kang.
Mm.
Ooh.
Interesting take there.
Yeah.
Bro, Giancarlo playing like 40 different characters. Oh, dude, he could do it 100%. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, he's
He is
phenomenal.
such a great actor, and he doesn't get the flowers. I mean, he has put in the work, man. He has. He really has.
Yeah, I mean, it took him until Breaking Bad acting since the 80s to finally break through.
Yeah, there was this. He's told this story. Apparently, he tried. It could have been a joke that he tried to hire a hitman to kill himself so that he could, his family could capitalize on his life insurance because he was failing at being a successful actor. I mean, that could make that's a movie right there.
Yeah,
that's a turn and a beat in a movie, a couple beats that you could do.
Yeah, but speaking of bad guys, I wanted to bring this up, and I wanted to pick your brain, Kyle, specifically. So I was thinking, I was going through, and like Badger, I was like, "Fuck, I kind of like Cassandra Nova in Deadpool and Wolverine." She made a pretty compelling villain. Like I knew where she was coming from. She had well acted, well delivered lines. But what makes a good villain? Like that, it's not a throwaway, or what makes?
I need one having fun. I need a Simon Phoenix or a Cassandra Nova or a Joe, one that doesn't really, that's there for their own reasons.
Yeah, exactly. Because Thanos tried to sell you on why he was like Thanos tried to make you see that what he was doing was right. Cassandra was just like, I'm evil. So what? You know what I mean? It was funny.
Yeah. And I mean, she liked ruling over the void, and wanted to make everything the Void, essentially.
I love when Ryan said, "Why don't you just push that into being productive or get cancer like everyone else?" Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
it.
part of why I think what makes a great villain is their intentions and their plan and what they're doing has to make sense. It has to make sense to us, not just within the context of the narrative.
Verisimilitude.
So with Thanos, his intentions were not only
Villains.
understandable in terms of, oh, he's trying to create a balance to the universe that we agree with that intention, but his actions are abhorrent. When you look at what Cassandra's doing, it's muddled because the plot line kind of doesn't make sense, and it's fast-tracked and contrived in a way that's just, okay, I'm letting this go the way it goes, and I'm just going to let it pass because all this other good shit that's happening with these characters and Hugh Jackman's back. But that's part of what has to line up with a great villain is their intentions, their actions have to make sense.
And did it line up for you? Did it line up for you in this movie?
No, I was confused. I was quite confused in terms of the. I keep forgetting the name of the. I keep wanting to say ATV, TVA,
but that's why you were confused, not because the characterization of her wasn't clear. It's because you didn't have the foundations because no one watched those goddamn Disney Plus shows.
I think I watched like the first 2 episodes and then I was done. Yeah. So the TVA. There's a lot of information I think they leave out that I didn't know about, and I didn't really believe. What does that mean in terms of the what there's this timeline that doesn't have their source, their anchor. What that's the first time I've ever heard of that.
Because it's the first time they made that shit up, but it just means that universe is going to slowly decay. It normally takes a couple thousand years, bro.
But why?
Paradox's Agent Smith. Why? I don't know. Why does any of this? Why are there Infinity Stones?
Right.
Why are those
that's what I mean.
over?
It's contrived.
Right, but eventually you get to because it's a fucking comic book. That's why.
Hold on. You can come up with that, but it still has to make sense. It's the same reason of what I'm talking about. When a villain is doing something, it has to make sense to the audience.
Why? Here's why, Kyle. Because everything is actually a simulation. We only have so much broad.
You're going to the bombastic.
So eventually, we have to have anchor beings, and when they die, we let that simulation slowly pass away. But Paradox didn't want to wait for that. He wanted to speed it up, which is why he had the time. It's the whole fucking thing. It's eventually how much does this need to be explained?
Exactly. And the issue,
why does our universe die?
Are you defending it, or are you just like waving it away?
No, I'm defending it because it's one of those things you don't even understand the shit, and you're going into minutia.
And Kyle,
I think that's a cop out.
Hey, Kyle, bro. So look, right? So at the end of freaking Loki season 2, right? Loki, as you saw, right? He's holding every universe. He's keeping the multiverse alive, right? And so basically, bro, Paradox was just trying to just kill all of the freaking worlds again, bro. Because it is the same thing that happens over and over and over and over. You know what I mean? And so basically, I mean, that's the whole entire story.
No, it's a cop. Hey, Kyle, explain why our fucking universe is going to die from heat death and it keeps expanding. Can you explain that? And then I'll explain why the fictional fucking woman superheroes. Like, what are we talking about here, bro?
Climate
the TVA is the Time Variance Authority. They prune rogue timelines. This one, when it lost its anchor being, was going to die, and the guy in charge with it didn't want to be in charge with it for 1,000 years. Wanted to speed it up.
You said yourself that the anchor being is this thing that they pulled out of their ass that you never heard, but you're talking about it as if it's been this thing this whole time.
Because I'm a nerd and I could very easily adjust the canon. I think that Star Wars fan who for decades has fucking had to explain away every little. You want me to now explain to you why I had to explain away bleeding of lightsaber crystals? That's what we do.
So the anchor being that was just made up for Deadpool. That wasn't in Loki.
Unless these two gentlemen saw it in the comics, I've never fucking heard of anchor beings before.
So the thing is that the anchor being is the new multiversal rule now that
now that we have all these
holding everything in his hands, like that's like the new rule. And so and then I see so many people saying that Tony was anchor being, which is definitely not true.
Isn't it strange? I thought someone was saying it was Doctor Strange.
I definitely would have given.
I have a theory.
That anchor being role.
Jerry, what's your theory?
So my theory is that an anchor being has to be a mutant because I don't think an anchor being is something you become. And I can't imagine you're an anchor being before you have superpowers. That would be kind of stupid. And a mutant would be born with it. Plus, we only know of one anchor being so far, and it's a mutant.
Wolverine.
So I think it's mutants. And the other thing, two things that led me to this theory was, number one, Feige said that this movie, if Infinity War is a 9 and Endgame is a 10, this movie is an 8 in terms of how impactful it is to the future of the MCU.
Mhm.
And he also said Deadpool and Wolverine is the beginning of the mutants era. So I think an anchor being has to be a mutant. Definitely.
Okay, so this is what I mean in terms of calling someone an anchor being. What does that mean? Okay, to me, it makes more sense. Steven, you're talking about making Tony Stark, or bringing that up as a possibility. That makes sense in terms of the impact that he had on the universe. Logan had these, in context to the other stories, he didn't have a huge impact in terms of the rest of the world.
Logan he wasn't his universe's anchor being. That's why you can take Jerry's, that's fine, that's very fine, but we don't know exactly what an anchor being is, just that they exist.
Yeah.
And
like,
that you can replace them if they turn into the exact same virtuous copy of whatever the original was.
Yeah. And Kyle,
Good point.
And Kyle, there was another rumor that's going around, and I don't know how true this is now that everything's changed, because everything changes every freaking day. But like it's literally covering this stuff is stressful. But there was a rumor going around that each anchor being was going to be like picked out, and that they were going to use each anchor being to create this new rebooted universe. Like this whole, and before anchor being, they were called chosen ones or something like that. So they're obviously changing something up with like all of this chosen.
I mean, so it's gonna be the biggest people, like Reed Richards, Professor X, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Logan.
I'd also love if it was just some random motherfucker named Bob.
No, but so you're right, Badger. What the fuck does that mean? What is an anchor being? What is their purpose? Who are they chosen?
You may never mention it again, by the way, Kyle. That's the thing. You may just never hear about it again.
Well, I understand the idea of it, but it wasn't explained in the way you would think that Deadpool would be like, what the fuck does that even mean, right? And you can
I just don't think it was the movie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know what you're saying, but I just don't think
that's what I mean.
Yeah, I just don't think
what if it was so because Logan died, they imply that he died prematurely. What if they had a moment of dialogue where he said he wasn't supposed to, he was meant for something bigger, but that didn't happen, it was taken away,
and therefore the timeline started dying.
Right.
It might just be a natural thing. Logan died in the Logan movie, and he was the anchor being of that world, which we find out Deadpool is in or whatever, right? And that just, when you go, well, what the fuck does that mean? It just means that now, over a period of thousands of years, it starts to burn out.
So it's natural that a universe would die away.
Yes,
okay.
Which is natural in ours. Paradox is in charge of overseeing that, and he doesn't want to wait that fucking long.
Right. So I want to get into that. Why the fuck is he trying to, like, he's saying he doesn't want to wait around and do the work, but that's his job.
To you. The Time Variance Authority came into existence. I know it's in the comics, but whatever. In the MCU, they made it so that we find out it's actually Kang, the last Kang, and that he created this whole fucking thing to prune away any timeline where one of his variants would show up. That's what the sacred timeline is. It's a fucking timeline with no Kangs. That being said, he killed himself and gave Loki control of the TVA. So now the sacred timeline is whatever that variant of Loki decides. And when someone in the chat was like, who are these people and why did they show up there? They've all been pruned or touched with the little glowy sticks that send them to that variant, sending them there from these timelines that are either shouldn't exist or about to die. Yeah, it's convoluted as fuck. It's all just a plot twist to get people together or rid of them.
How is this going to coincide with the incursions? Because now, like, that's where I'm really confused.
Oh, X-Men versus Avengers is supposed to be the one that we keep hearing about. I keep hearing about. It's supposed to be what they're building towards. That Monica Rambeau and Beast at the end of the Marvels are in the same world as Deadpool and the new
that's
Wolverine.
Kind of what Stevie's been saying,
and that's leading to. But that was old news. I don't know if they're still doing it. But it would be retarded to not do that.
So much because this is the Fantastic Four.
I know.
X-Men versus Avengers.
I know.
Secret Wars. It would just be insane.
And after the reset, it would be,
listen, I read a lot of
X-Men,
comics,
basically.
and the one thing I never like is when a comic, like the finale of an arc, becomes so big, there are so many characters, and the story didn't earn it. It just feels cheap. and it feels like a tactic, and it never lands.
Okay, whoa, Jerry.
Bro, read Dan Slott, any Dan Slott comic, and like most
bro,
of them are like
but
that.
even Avengers versus X-Men, I
Shots
mean,
fired.
like, do you really think they're not going to bring
Yeah,
back
yeah.
storyline
Shots
again?
fired.
Like,
I
come
think
on.
they'd very quickly be teaming up against something. You know
An
what I'm saying?
incursion will be perfect for them to battle.
The
Yeah.
other thing is, by the way, with things like Avengers versus X Game and Secret Wars, is MCU, when they use a story, it's never a direct adaptation. You have movies like Infinity War, where in the comics, it's actually Adam Warlock who defeats Thanos. It's very different. And then you have stories like Secret Invasion, where Feige told the people who made it, don't even read the comics because this has nothing to do with it. And whether you like Secret Invasion or not, which no one really does.
I was going to say, bro, who does?
Yeah. But
That's what they're making coming up.
No,
no, it's out on
Secret
Disney.
Secret Wars.
Oh.
Secret
What
Wars.
I'm
Yeah,
trying
that's
to
what
say
I got
is-
confused about.
is
There we go.
if they do Avengers versus X-Men, I don't think it's going to be so tightly based on the comics. I think they'll take some pieces. Secret Wars, I also think Secret Wars is going to take some things from some Secret Wars and some things from others, because I always thought they were going to use Hickman's because Hickman's is the best, and I think
There was also
if you
the
read them, would agree
'90s.
with me.
There was also the '90s animated Spider-Man cartoon. Secret Wars.
Okay,
so
so yeah,
with the X-Men
But-
from the
But when the Russos came out and said we're doing Secret Wars, they said They basically said that it's based on their favorite comic that they read as a kid, which was obviously the OG 1984 Secret Wars. So
they got so much work to do. Oh, they were trying to say that
I would love to see the Beyonder.
they might make
I
the
know
Beyonder
Stevie would
a
too.
Kang variant, and that is how they would address it.
Okay.
They would say that the Beyonder is a Kang variant, and that the Beyonder just got rid of them all or some
Yeah.
dumb shit like that.
Stevie had that theory from day one.
Well, Stevie boy, you right. So far, unless they change their mind.
By the way, I wanted
They
to
bring back
go
Jonathan
back and
Majors.
just because I'm not as like into the comics as I used to be 20 years ago. Well, can you explain incursions?
Jerry?
So yeah, an incursion it happens when two planets collide. Either both of them explode and die, or one of them explodes and dies.
Okay.
But what you also need to understand is in the comics, so Tony Stark behind Captain America's back creates the Illuminati, and the reason he did it behind Cap's back was because he created this Illuminati team to save their Earth from the incursion and sacrifice the other. And Tony knew that Captain America would never be okay with sacrificing another planet, even if it meant them dying.
Humanity.
Also.
Yeah, which is what they tried to do in Multiverse of Madness, but failed.
Yeah, kind of. But so on that Illuminati team, Reed Richards creates the antimatter injection system, which is a device that's designed to blow up the other Earth right before they collide to avoid the incursion.
Which is sort of what we saw in Deadpool. It's a matter and antimatter, like the time
Yeah,
splitter.
yeah.
The fuck? Yeah.
Ironically, by the way, no one had the balls to do it except for Namor. I love Namor.
It means a child without the love. Fucking Victoria Alonso. Goodbye.
Which
that movie would have been a top 5 MCU movie had we had T'Challa.
100%.
yeah. And I mean, Namor, like that's such a wasted opportunity.
Yep.
I mean, the character has been around since the '60s, or even earlier, I think.
It's also one of the biggest Marvel rivalries is T'Challa and Namor. Which
They
Yeah.
shouldn't hire anyone unless they're fucking in love with this shit.
Yeah,
and they also need to vet out, like, you know, I know they put morality clauses in contracts now, which, basically are to avoid things like Kanye and Adidas.
Demons can't suss out other demons.
Nice.
But here's the thing, whatever his name is, the guy who played Namor, who I think is still in good standing with Marvel, he had his own publicity incident too, which was, I think, also a domestic.
Funny how we don't know about that.
incident.
Yeah. How it's
I read
not
about
but I'm saying how it's not pushed the same.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think, Marvel is trying to pick actors who they don't have to pay tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, you got to pick actors who
You are gonna
have
see-
a track record of not messing up.
After
Yeah.
Secret Wars, we're going to have a Namor that looks like Namor. I think they're going to use that to undo a lot of the things they were forced to do just because of the times and politics and a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
And we could finally go back to what a lot of these characters should have looked like to begin with and act like.
Are you saying the dark age of cinema is going to be over?
I would
think-
love to say that. I just say I see a path where that might happen.
I
Okay.
think this election will have an impact whether
Yes.
this country and companies either go that direction or the other. And
Well-
if we lose this election, you're going to see companies continue down this path that we all hate. If we win this election, normalcy, sanity, and everything could go back to normal. That's what's at stake. And
It
that's
could.
why
It could, but
I
they're gonna
can't
go more
stand
batshit than
when
ever.
people from
You-
NSYNC and Madonna get to be relevant again.
Yeah.
Oh,
to
leave
push their
Justin Timberlake
BS
alone,
stuff.
man.
Wait,
Yeah, he just got a DUI, man. Like,
Yeah,
It
Sin,
was
you know,
actually
they're going to
Lance
go
Bass.
It
It
was
was actually
hardcore.
It was actually Lance Bass, and it was like the day after.
I love Lance. What's
the
wrong with
movie
yeah,
Lance?
came out.
wait.
He made a post.
I think that the far left, especially, is going to go even. Their brains
gonna
are going to
lose their
break
shit.
even
There
harder
is no such
than they
thing as a far
TDS
did.
times
left
7.
anymore. There's no such thing as a far left anymore. The far left is the mainstream left.
well, here's a really interesting video that I saw.
They're
on,
not going to return to normalcy, is what I'm
Right.
saying. Their brains are going to continue to break
Yeah,
even
but
worse than they
but
did.
if we keep winning in culture and we win in politics, they're going to be left in the dust. So
I would focus
it is
more
what
on
it is.
culture. So we
Hopefully.
have our part.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
keep
yeah.
going
Yeah.
on the culture end.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if we lose anything, well, we'll all be lining up on the bus with our plate carriers and handed out rifles to do it the hard way. So in Minecraft. So yeah, let's
Whoa,
hope
whoa, whoa.
everyone's not crazy and let's just make good pop culture without ideology and it'll be just fine.
Yeah,
Be just fine.
which is what Deadpool and Wolverine did.
used to
Right.
be that way.
I felt like they didn't hate me, which is a big step on me
Yeah.
liking your product if I feel like you don't
I
hate
mean,
me every second.
There was a bunch of lines where Ryan Reynolds was like, "Yeah, like this is not going to play well with the woke crowd."
Yeah,
The
the
ableism.
small
The woke mob.
jabs, not big. He was
Yeah.
very
Well,
soft.
did you
on
catch
that?
that Beardo, the guy that outfits him, is supposed to be Disney, and he's a groomer, he's a predator?
Yeah.
That was funny. That was
Yeah,
What?
Loved
your
it.
guy's a yeah.
Oh,
he's
that
a
guy.
predator.
Yeah.
Because he kept like smacking him on the butt, grabbing him.
Yes, and grope,
Yeah,
which I
yeah.
love. Gratuitous shots,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, no, that was. I mean,
Where's the intimacy coordinator?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
No, but he kind of said that line a little bit randomly
Who?
because that
No, it
Deadpool.
wasn't.
Did you miss all the shots of him having his dick and ass grabbed?
It wasn't random.
You know, he said that when they met up with Cassandra in the Void. He said, "Where's the intimacy?"
the intimacy. No,
coordinator?"
he said that after
No,
she stuck
he
her
said that
fingers in
after-
him,
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
and
after
not in a
she-
good way.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, but it wasn't.
the coordinator.
It's different though. It wasn't a sexual thing. That's why
it was
that
a
joke
sexual
didn't.
thing. That is why that joke worked. She stuck
No,
her
he's
fingers
saying.
in him.
I get the line is he's implying it's sexual, but what she was doing wasn't. That's
Yeah, yeah,
what
yeah.
it didn't line up all the way for me.
But
He always does that. He always that's the way
explaining
he is.
jokes never makes them funny.
Well,
Everything-
I'll say
Everything
one of the.
is sexual to him.
No,
He's always
Sin,
making some reference.
But that's what I want to bounce off of what you're saying. Everything he says is sexual. I think he dialed it up a little bit too hard here. Not not intended. So he did a lot of forced stuff where he was like trying to entrap people into making it seem like they were gay or they were sexually explicit about this and this and that. He did a lot of implying with that, and I think he led too much with a lot of the sexual implications.
Wasn't there a lot of
situations.
sexual implication in 1 and 2?
yes,
Maybe
loved
I
all of
haven't
it.
seen them in a while.
He's
A bit.
pansexual.
Maybe
Didn't
my
seem-
sensibility has changed a little bit,
This
but
didn't
I'm
seem
just
much different.
commenting on this third film. I thought it didn't make me laugh as much. Maybe the other ones were better. I have to watch the first film. I do recall the first film working the best though.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it since it came out in the theaters.
no.
So
Yeah, all those I was fine with it. I don't know. It seemed completely in line with Deadpool, a pansexual
Yeah.
who makes those jokes
Yeah.
all the time.
It did. to me.
Was he that way in the first film?
Yes,
Really?
Bro,
he
he's been
fucking gets
wild.
pegged.
All three, he's been a wild dude, bro. All
He
right.
was
Yeah.
he was saying he wants to fuck other dudes in the first one.
He makes
hey,
all
bro,
the same sex jokes.
bro.
Yes,
I have
In
to
the
check out
comics,
the
yo,
first.
Kyle,
I'm just saying
Kyle,
that that's my sensibility in terms
comics-
it didn't work as
in the
much, even if
comics,
he wasn't talking
Spider-Man.
about other dudes. Go ahead.
bro.
he wants to gut Spider-Man, bro, in the comics, bro. It's actually hilarious.
Oh, that sounds like pedophilia.
Spider-Man has been a grown man and married for many
Spider-Man's a grown
years.
man, bro. Spider-Man's a grown man. He's not a teenager. We not
That
Depends on what area you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about,
yeah.
motherfucker.
Straight to that age.
You
if
could,
anything.
you could get in line with Mr. Anti-Idiotic Man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey man, it's
man.
good to engagement is engagement.
Engagement is engagement. Yeah, exactly.
GAY.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't be threatened by it. Good looking guy like you, come on, just embrace it a little bit.
Oh.
we,
I hear that tone, that sensual tone in your voice, man. I gotta take a drink now. Why don't you
Watch
buy me
a lot
one?
of- Deadpool, maybe he's got something to it.
See, this is why you shouldn't be watching it this much. You have bad influence on you, Badger.
Oh,
Deadpool is influencing you a
I
little bit
was
too hard.
always bad.
Oh.
Yes.
You merely adopted the gay. I was born into it, molded by it.
Oh my god.
I mean, I do
You
live in
need a
It's that
California.
Pull it off.
vape. Those vapes
I
are
say I live in
making everyone gay
California.
now.
Gay jokes and homoerotic jokes. Nothing new. Nothing new. Especially also working in the kitchen industry back in the day. Many a gay joke will be thrown around at you.
Oh, I've worked in a kitchen as well. Right.
No, that you've
Not
known
as a
types of
kitchen
man.
maid, but I've been in a kitchen as like a. Well, no, that's not true. I actually did work in a kitchen. Never mind.
No, then you know the tender touch of a man.
Welcome to my chaos of a mind. Trying to recall the past.
Just trying to make Kyle uncomfortable instead of the reverse effect.
Oh man. Oh.
It's not something you see in films these days
It was funny
because everybody gets offended.
Did
which
you see his
This
Disney?
was actually the first funny movie I've seen since Tropic Thunder. Like legitimately, where I was fucking laughing every few minutes.
Did y'all
I
like
think,
laughing a lot.
Bad Boys?
I'll still say it. I think a hugely underrated comedy that came out in the last decade that I think is one of the best films is Game Night.
Oh, that was
Fun.
yeah.
Who's in
I
it?
keep saying it. Jason Bateman.
Rachel McAdams.
Thank you.
Michael C.
Kyle
Hall.
Chandler. Yeah.
Did y'all like
Jesse
Bad Boys?
Lemons.
Clemens. Yeah, Bad Boys 4 was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah?
I like that too.
I didn't see Bad Boys 4 because the third one was just forgettable.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
the third one. That's my favorite one.
Bad Boys 4 was fun, bro. It was fun.
4 was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got everyone recommending 4.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
You should
Okay.
watch it.
Right.
I am
It's
I'm okay. You've made me a little bit interested. At the same time, it's the whole Will Smith thing of.
I heard he gets
He
humbled.
did that
I haven't
shit
watched
still.
Okay,
heard he
so
got a little humbled in it.
Yeah, there's a scene that feels like it specifically references that and happens multiple times.
Well,
It's not just one.
In
It's
Deadpool
like
and
2 or 3
Wolverine.
times.
In Deadpool and Wolverine,
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds
About
says,
Canada?
get my country's name out your
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
mouth.
Yeah, bro, that made
Yeah.
everyone laugh.
That
Like
was
they all
funny.
got it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the fourth iteration of something that I recently watched that I actually enjoyed was Beverly Hills Cop Axel F.
Oh, I
I
haven't
watched
seen
that
that
like
yet.
2 nights ago.
Me neither.
I got like 30 minutes into it, and I was just.
Feels kind of like it's mixed on that. So
I mean, it was like a throwaway, enjoyable thing, but almost everything on Netflix is throwaway content.
It's such a weird title to me. What the hell does that even mean?
Well, it's Axel Foley.
Okay, so I'm a clean slate. I haven't seen any of the Beverly
okay.
Hills
It's
Cop
his
movies.
name. It's his first name and
and
last
Axel
name.
F was the name of the song too.
So it's a redundant title. It's
Well,
basically
maybe just go watch the first the first.
his
2.
moniker and his name are just. It's in the title.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
like Rambo or Rocky or something. Just put the dude's name.
Oh
I
my
don't know. I mean, give it a shot. I enjoyed it. Like it was fine. Like
It's
there was
like
not-
it's like saying Die Hard, John McClane in one title.
yeah.
You know, Bruce, if he had not, we probably would have gotten a John McClane. Like had he had no health problems, and it probably
Yeah.
would have been awesome. By the way,
I doubt that, but
if he had been on his own, who knows? Who knows? We'll have to hop into that timeline,
Yeah.
prune our variants, and then watch the.
It-
Die Hard
it's
7
so
or the
sad
one.
that like he is essentially
That's my
dying
worst way. is like that dementia type thing.
This is completely like absurd conspiracy theory. Okay, and I admit that, but there's this inkling in the back of my mind of what if Bruce Willis faked? No, I get it, but I'm saying it's absurd, man. Just go with it for a second. What if to retire quietly so people would leave him the fuck alone? That this narrative was put up.
That's a very extreme way to do that.
So Kyle, I'm going to disagree with you because I want to say it was like way back in 2006. I was working in the building next to World Trade 7, and they were filming a movie with Bruce Willis and what's her face? Storm from X-Men, Halle Berry. Perfect Stranger. And I actually saw like from maybe 30 or 40 feet away, but I did see Bruce Willis in 2006, and dude, he looked decrepit. Like he looked like a fucking old man back then. So I think the decline.
No, you can fucking see it in his acting and the things. Like, no, dude, it's real. It's not a.
It's just this theory. It's not something I actually believe. It's a bad theory, but it's an interesting theory because I just think about what ifs. I mean, this is what we all do, right? If you're in the creative field, you do what ifs. So
yeah,
I'm being completely transparent of when the what if, like that would be ingenious if the what if of he just manufactured this just so that people would leave him the fuck alone, not bother him, no press. People would say, just leave, give him his space, like let him live his life with his family.
I got a good one for you, Kyle. So in the book series that I'm writing, JFK Jr. was not killed in a plane crash, and he became the 43rd president instead of George W. Bush. It's like another timeline where I have like all my other shit going on.
I would have preferred that.
Well, so here's the thing. Here's my conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
First on YouTube. I think the CIA killed JFK Jr. way back in whatever it was, 97 or 98, because he was intending to run in 2000 and the CIA was planning 9/11. So if Daddy didn't want to go to Vietnam, they knew that the son wouldn't want to go to Afghanistan.
Are you sure this is theoretical?
I mean, no, I made this shit up, but it's plausible.
It sounds plausible, dude.
Right? Anyway, so yeah, that there's a major thing in my book where like JFK Jr. is president for
what? By the way, what name do you go under? Do you go under a pseudonym for
writing my book?
Yeah.
No, I write it under my first and last name because I guess it's ego. I want like certain people to be able to be like, fuck him, for being successful. So I write it under my own name.
What's your last name?
Oh, I'm not revealing that on this channel.
Oh, okay. So it's completely separated. All right. I didn't know that.
Oh. No, but so I'm trying to get a fucking literary agent to publish this book before Amy Adams ages out of the fucking character that I want her to play in the movie adaptation. But I already started writing the next two books.
Yeah, but now if there is an adaptation, people connect the dots.
Oh yeah, I mean, and I don't know, that might drive
if he gets his shit
to my channel. Whatever,
it won't be a problem saying his name the way Drinker has his book series.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, so it's a matter of all right. I mean, right.
Bro, eventually you'll get doxxed. Everyone will get doxxed, but until you have to put your full name out, it's best to reserve it until you have to, or it happens without your choice.
Well, technically, my last name is I changed
I know,
it.
You've told me the technicalities.
What?
No, but don't tell people the technicalities because you're technically still anonymous.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
Kind of. Not really, because the last name is still in my family tree.
Yeah, well, the last thing you need is an Mr. Anti-Idiotic showing up to your fucking house to tell you how strongly they feel about Kitty Pryde being with you. Just saying.
That's a good point.
Good point.
We're getting swapped. I probably shouldn't have said that thing about Deerfield.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I actually had a second thought about that. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Maybe we need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I mean, we beat Deadpool and Wolverine to death.
I still think we could go a little bit further on about it, but it's been like, throughout sporadically through the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, what have we not talked about yet?
Yeah, I got masked Hugh Jackman. Don't ruin it for me.
Deadpool.
Yeah, that
Give me this one.
Sweet,
I
bro.
didn't think that would work. I did not. When
And
I
it
heard
totally
that the
worked.
mask had been revealed, so I didn't watch a trailer.
Whoa!
Oh yeah.
Where did you
got
get it?
what I wanted.
Is it from the movie theater, or did you get it
No.
from
I've had this for a while. I have a full Wolverine outfit that I wear every Tuesday on Gooch's. So if you want to check it out,
You
just
really
be in spirit
are
and have fun.
the ultimate nerd, Badger.
No, I'm just saying. I got what I
He
wanted.
said he was.
20
I
fucking
know.
years.
Oh, my lights is in the way.
Yeah, it worked.
No nerd bashing here.
Oh, and by the
No
way,
nerd.
I'm a DC fan. The only thing I used to like Marvel for was the X-Men 97 and Spider-Man when I was a kid. And then when they started doing the movies, I was there because of those cartoons and shit. So I love Wolverine, Spider-Man, and shit like that.
No, I remember when I was in middle school. After school, I played with a friend of mine. It was like third grade or something like that. We're in the gymnasium jumping on these like soft pads and all that shit.
Yeah.
And we're pretending to be X-Men. I'm pretending to be Wolverine. And so we're jumping around the bleachers and onto it was around 2001. Yeah. I mean,
Bro, X-Men 97 got me to like Cyclops, who I used to think was fucking lame.
Yeah.
But Bo glowed him up and like really made him a focal, and like just from the entry when he shoots his kinetic beams into the ground to slow his descent.
Oh, that was hard. That was
I'm
hard.
just saying, he got a lot of love when I didn't think he would get it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Cyclops was, he was that, lame leadership kind of guy like Leonardo from Ninja Turtles.
but he can be done well when
But he could be done super well, especially in that run of the comics where he becomes a terrorist, where he has the whatever.
he doesn't blow up a World Trade Center, does he?
No. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
point is, it's just nice to see these characters we've had for so long get a little bit of love,
comeuppance. Yeah.
a little bit of some.
And I love how they made fun of not having him in the yellow spandex for 24 years.
Mhm.
No, that's full circle. The first film literally says that line.
Yeah.
What did
Yeah.
you prefer, yellow spandex?
Yeah.
And then 24 years later, boom, you get it.
Yeah.
And it looked great.
Oh, it
Yeah,
was-
I was skeptical, because the dimensions of the design in the comics is different. Obviously, we all know that. But
Yeah.
so when you have it in real life, these flaps for his eyes.
Blowjob
They
handles.
go out. They're
that
like
joke, okay.
Fuck you! What is the wind
How-
resistance on those blowjob handles? That
I mean,
was a
how
great
sturdy are they
line.
going to be, man?
Fuck,
Okay,
get out of here.
so go with me on this with the dimensions in terms of like if you go out too far, then the proportions of his bottom of his face don't match up well. Like it was just on that edge where it was maybe a little bit too wide, but
I wish
worked.
they had kept the shoulder pads when he took off his sleeves. But
yeah. No, I mean,
No,
I think all the costumes worked very well, especially, and I
That
mentioned
brown
this
one?
in my video.
brown with the
The
John
brown
Byrne?
one with the Hulk. Oh my
yeah.
Oh yeah,
That is one of
Fuck
the best.
yeah.
And
Was
I'm
that
not
the,
gonna gas-
John
that's one
Byrne
of the
run?
best costumes I've seen in my
Yeah.
life.
So this
Yeah.
one is the one from the end of remember at the end of Wolverine, the second one or whatever,
Yeah.
the Wolverine.
The
It's
Wolverine.
just
The
based on that
Wolverine,
one.
yeah.
The Wolverine, yeah, it's based on that one.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
it looks
wanted
pretty
that
damn
brown
close, man.
Yo, that brown suit,
one. We'll
bro.
get
Oh
this
my
movie
God.
mask though,
So-
when it has
so-
like the white eyes and shit. Oh.
Well, yeah, and those are digital. Like that's
Yeah, yeah,
clearly how they
they
did the
made-
same technique as.
But they have a
Deadpool.
base version. Deadpool has a mask with the white eyes. It just doesn't move the around it. So yeah, I want to get something like that.
No, but I thought the best thing, and I mentioned it in my video, was Weapon X. Even his proportions
That shit's good.
were wider
Mhm.
in that one scene. And I went back to like just take a look at old Age of Apocalypse comic books, and he is like kind of a wider Logan, like in terms of like beefier, bulkier.
All I know
the
is after
hair.
this, I want Batman with white fucking eyes. It can be
100%.
done.
It can be done, yeah.
We're gonna do
Batman,
that.
we need
That's
to do
already been done with Batman v Superman, dude.
No.
His eyes were not white. They were like
No, wearing the
digital.
power armor with
Yeah,
the
they were like
glow
a
eyes.
digital.
Yeah.
Right.
And Dark Knight doesn't count
I
with the
think they-
sonar.
we need just
No.
regular white eyes, bro. That would
White fucking eyes the whole
100%
time.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying, you got a semblance of it in that way.
You can't
they tried
give me a
to do
hand
it.
job and tell me I got laid. That's not how that works.
Well, hold on a second. How are you
I
going
don't care
to?
if it was a
The
sexual
Dark
act.
Knight with the sonar scene.
Yeah,
Yo,
no,
Baz,
I need
you're a
full
wild
white
dude,
eyes.
man.
Thank you, bro. Sorry.
I'm not sure how they're going to implement that if they're going to do
The
a
same
like,
way they do
real
Deadpool and
world
Wolverine.
based. Yeah, but it's more fantastical and heightened.
It can be done. It
Bro,
can be
Yeah,
done.
if it's
It
a
would-
fantastical
You
and
just say
heightened.
they're contact
Batman
It
is
lenses.
would look. It would
Like in
look
the
better
comics.
than
Well, as
the
long as the
cartoon
eyes like don't
look.
fucking like move in the same. That's what's
I know.
that's what's cartoonish about Deadpool and Wolverine, is
I
that
think they
when
can do
their
it.
eyes and expressions are moving with this mask, that technically doesn't make any sense.
I know.
But
Like realistically
bro,
speaking,
Batman with wide eyes, it's going to make him look so much more scarier, bro. Like,
So much.
yeah.
I mean,
Even
wasn't
Slav
that-
looks like Batman,
with
but
the
he can turn
voice,
his
dude,
head.
I would be shook if someone's talking to me with a mask with wide eyes. And they have a
Yes.
shrink.
Isn't
like
that
a
how
circle.
Isn't that how his mask
No.
is in the animated series? Isn't
Yeah,
it?
I'll show you
Yeah.
something. Hold on.
That's what I thought.
Before we
It does
leave.
look more
you
intimidating.
can share a screen or something.
Yeah, and you just it's been done 20 years ago, so I'm trying to see it. But the Batman fan film Dead End, you literally just give him white contact lenses.
That'll be fun. Really.
You literally just give him white contact lenses.
Yeah, bro. Please show. I want to see
Someone needs to do a proof of concept of real life white eye contacts, and because you can do that digitally. Because an actor would fucking hate it wearing that throughout an entire day. And
I might have to go to
days
the
on
actual
end.
screen and try and you gotta make it full screen. But it's like he literally is just wearing white contact lenses, and it gives him the white opaque, but he can still, I don't know, you can still convey emotion.
Can that screen be?
Yeah,
made
he can
bigger?
probably click on the bottom and
Paul?
click it full screen, but
You should be able to like highlight that one.
Let's see. Yes.
or if not, hold on, I'll find an actual.
Can you
one of the
command
eyes.
plus it?
Yeah, hold on, I'll find an actual one with the eyes.
Oh, I could have
See it.
done Spotlight.
No, I know. I'll bring it back. I'm gonna have to
Big-ass
actually
screen.
bring up YouTube so you can see it because there's not a freeze frame of the eyes. YouTube. Sorry, continue talking real quick.
But yeah, wide eyes Batman is definitely the look for sure. Oh,
I agree. That would look pretty awesome. It would
Hey,
look better than the black paint around the eyes.
100%.
Oh,
Hey,
Well,
yeah.
that would be a combo though.
Hey
They
Sid,
would
by the
do
way,
pretty
I
cool
love
combo.
that Chadwick thing. That Chadwick
Oh yeah,
That-
Jackson did it.
Oh,
You talking about this back here?
uh-huh.
Yeah, one of my brother's friends is an artist, and so he created
it's not
this
as bright
digital
as I
image,
thought it would be. But
and then
just-
my
yeah.
brother got it printed on display for
Cool.
me.
Cool.
it's subtle. Okay.
It's just yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
this
I
is-
want the
if you-
eyes to pop out
By the
a
way,
little bit
yeah.
more.
Oh, I
That's better.
see it a little more there.
Yo,
You got
the
reflections
Dark Knight
from the light.
Okay.
Can you hear this?
Yeah, we hear it.
Yeah, we hear
Oh.
it.
Where's this from?
Batman Dead
Okay.
End.
Yeah.
It's a fan film by Sandy Cholera. Who?
okay.
Okay, yeah, you're gonna.
The
yeah.
lighting
I want them to
looks
copy
cheap.
Wolverine. Yeah, I want them
but
to copy
That
Wolverine.
effect of the cape rising from
Yeah,
the
that
puddle
was
was
cool.
very effective.
You
I
might
gotta
want to
say.
keep watching that
That was
because it
pretty
maybe
cool.
has an appearance of aliens and Predator and screen
I think it
accurate.
was
Yeah.
Bruce Timm
No.
who said, if you could ever, or Jim Lee, someone like that said when they were doing the Batman the Animated Series, whenever you could have the cape wrap around him and on the floor like that, do it. It just looks cool.
He needs
and
to be
ever since it's become
Coming out of the shadows, you need to not know who or where he is at
Yes.
all times.
100%.
Yeah, and that's more
What
common
if Robert
accurate.
Pattinson does it?
They
We-
tried.
We got a little bit of that even in the Dark Knight trilogy when he's
Yeah.
hanging on, when he's perched onto skyscrapers and he's just standing there, or it's waving in the
true.
wind.
Those are
That
fire
looks
shots.
fucking great.
Yeah.
And by the
Terrible
way, I would
shoots,
say
but-
I'm no
but-
actual Snyder defender, but I do like the extended cut, the fighting of Batman, the costume, the accuracy, him hiding in the shadows as the cops going around
Sure.
like that. I need to see that type of Batman. I need to see a Batman that I believe can stand
100%.
toe to toe with the Justice League and hold his own. And you need a motherfucker with bad knees.
Yeah.
No offense, Christian Bale.
Facts. Oh,
Slav has got to get back on here and defend this whole Dark Knight Rises thing like that.
Oh,
I want to
yeah,
get
please.
into with him.
all right,
Yeah,
I am
well,
ready
so-
for
so
that,
Kyle,
man.
Kyle, I am because I'm pretty sure Slav hates the Dark Knight, right?
Yeah.
He didn't say
'Cause
he
I also do
hated
hate
it.
too. I hate
What
it too.
the hell?
I love the Dark Knight.
I love the Dark Knight too.
That's
Yes.
one of the
I
very
love the Dark Knight.
Yeah, him and I like.
Wait,
I
clarify.
follow that one.
Did I hear that right? Stevie, you said you hate The Dark Knight.
I don't say I hate. I strongly dislike it.
No, you hate it.
Ooh.
Own
I
it.
hate it. I hate
Own
it.
it.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
Yes.
lie.
I think he
by the
backed up
way-
a little bit
by the
when
way,
I
guys,
asked
by the
that
way, guys,
question.
I posted an anti-Dark Knight thing on our TikTok, and we lost like 30 followers.
Oh no!
Well, dude, I mean, if I was one of them, I would
I pissed
understand.
so many people off with that, but yeah, I cannot stand, dude. I think Christian
What
Bale
I
is the
always
worst
try to
Batman.
explain to
Val
him.
Kilmer is a better Batman than Bale, but don't even get
Yeah.
me started.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
even get me started.
So what I always try to explain is that the Dark Knight trilogy helped prime the superhero genre audience for the MCU and the future. And I hate to call that age here, but I'm 10 years older.
I think that was Iron Man.
Wait, what?
I think that the
Thank you.
2008
No,
Iron Man.
Thank you.
No,
and
bro.
that was what I
even
said.
Kevin
But,
Feige,
yeah,
even
but
Kevin Feige has
that
said the Dark Knight
is
made
the
a huge
blueprint,
difference
so
on
it's
that.
Whatever. It's
But I
whatever.
always try to explain to Stevie, and I don't like to point out age, but I feel like he was too young to experience going to the movies when superhero movies didn't dominate the box office every month. And
Well, they were
you know,
also
the
a
Dark
lot
Knight,
easier.
the Dark
Few
Knight
and
trilogy.
far
Am I
between,
the
and
youngest
most
on
of them
the
were bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Dark Knight trilogy has had to sell all those tickets, which they killed it doing, but they had to sell all those tickets
But, bro,
to a fandom
yes,
that
bro,
wasn't
it's not that good.
lining up for MCU movies. And they did it, and the MCU and everything else benefited from it.
Yeah, but like the Dark
Agreed.
Knight isn't. as
So
great
where does
as
this
this.
come from about the Dark Knight being lesser than these other films? What is
Okay,
going on?
no,
here?
all right. So basically, right, I think that the Batman is a way better film than any of the three. In my personal opinion, the only
Yeah,
good
because they
Nolan-
ripped off 7, but okay.
the only good Nolan film I like is Batman.
The plot's not even the same.
Begins, which I totally love. I mean, I am not a fan of realistic Batman, and that's very hypocritical coming from
Yeah, because the
Robert,
Batman's
No.
pretty realistic.
Yeah, bro.
Realistic
What's going on
Batman.
here?
But
What is going on
that
here?
is one of my issues with Robert Pattinson's Batman 2 is it just seems
Too
that
realistic?
It just seems that a lot of
You've
these
never
guys
said that.
shy away
So confused.
from the fantastical side of a Batman. But I am just not the biggest fan of Heath's Joker, and I don't understand.
Oh my
Dude,
god!
what,
It's
okay,
okay.
dude,
Personally.
did
He
you
hates
like
the Joker.
like,
Don't get me
Period.
started with Joaquin Phoenix. I don't like
Look.
Joaquin either.
this
I mean,
happens
I've seen his
every
voice.
time
Yeah,
somebody
Joker.
says something
Like
about the
to
Dark
see
Knight.
the world burn.
Everyone chimes in at the same time. This happened last live stream where I said, "Look at this cacophony of everyone chiming in." It happens, dude. If your opinion had not to denigrate you, okay? Because I like a lot of what you're saying tonight.
Bro, come on.
Well, let me
Come on,
finish.
bro.
A lot of what you're saying is really great, but after all of this cacophony of just launches at you, how could you be comfortable with that opinion that the Joker's performance, the Heath Ledger's Joker, is not good? And you say, "Oh, I'm comfortable with that. That makes sense."
Yeah. So the reason why, at least the Joker that I grew up on, like
You hate the Joker.
Mark Hamill
hold on.
Joker.
Yeah, and like this might sound very Gen Z, so I'm sorry, but like the Dark Knight for me is more of like the aura of the characters more than the actual characters itself. So I feel like whenever I look at the Joker, I just see clips of him talking. I don't see clips of him actually getting like things done. And for me, like the Dark Knight trilogy is more of like the aura of who Batman is. But like to me, it didn't feel like Batman really got to work. And it also felt like the Batman got beat like every movie. You know what I mean? And to me, it just didn't seem like Christian Bale's Batman was ever ahead of the enemy, and it just didn't feel
Well,
like
you
Christian
don't
Bale's
want him to
Batman
be
was
a Marty
like
Sue.
attack.
I mean,
Tisha.
that would be
Yeah.
boring.
But
Or
that's
a
what
Johnny
Batman is.
Sue.
Batman is the guy that pre-prepares before everything, and like if he's
Ugh.
constantly getting beaten every single time, it kind
I
of
can say what he's saying, though. I know what he's saying.
No,
Because I
I-
agree with him.
Yeah, no,
Batman-
I don't agree with
Batman-
him, but I can see what you're saying in terms of there are a lot of scenes
No, Christian Bale's
that
not
are
really playing
confined
Batman.
in terms of Heath Ledger talking to people, and you're watching his magnetism on screen and him confronting and talking about his machinations. However, you see, say, in the hospital scene when he's leaving Harvey Dent, he's fucking blowing up that fucking hospital and he's walking out.
cool. That was
Okay,
cool.
right?
I mean,
He's doing that, right?
Rep.
Bro,
Yeah,
they're
and
good
then when
movies,
in terms
they're shitty
of
Batman movies, they're good movies, but they're shitty Batman movies, which is why I would rather watch the Batman than the Dark Knight.
Exactly.
Any of
dude,
those.
you like I don't know
It's
where
a
you
great-
stand, dude.
Impale, bro,
Because
oh,
like,
well, I'm
Badger,
telling you right
you
now.
last
Batman
live stream,
ever,
you
bro.
were
Jesus Christ.
you were saying that Slav was like off the mark, and I have no idea where you stand in terms of
Right,
that.
I've been pretty fucking clear that I like Christian Bale. It's a great performance, but that's not a good Batman. That's a good realistic Batman in a Nolan movie. But Batman doesn't retire for 7 years, and he doesn't have bad knees.
It's not
100%.
one movie.
So it's a good
We're
movie,
talking-
but it's
no,
not a
the
good
Dark
Batman
Knight
movie.
Rises is a poor
It's a horrible
examination.
movie compared to whatever
the
you
way
were
they
saying.
treat that character, I have gone on record since the fucking movie came out that they denigrate that character. That is not Bruce Wayne. He would not give up for 7 years, whine and mope, and write poetry
But he
about how
did.
Rachel died.
But he did.
Right? They made a mistake. That sucked. Okay, but the
So then it
first two
can't be the
films
Joker.
are solid.
I just think that it's not. Look. I think that it's good for the time it was in, but like people deride so much and think that this trilogy is just so goated. When like I think the Captain America trilogy cooks the Dark Knight trilogy with no effort. You know what I mean? So like that's kind of how I just feel is like so many people gas it up. And look, I mean, you can like the Dark Knight, but for me personally, that's not the Joker that I grew up on. Batman with the fighting elbows, like it's just not.
See,
like it's just
the
not for me.
Joker thing is the one that's separate. I fucking hated that
Yeah.
Kinsey that they taught. The Joker is there's no one Joker. Even in the comics, there's the three, which is stupid. My point is there's a lot of different personalities. There's the criminal, the clown.
Yeah.
This is more that chaos anarchy shit, and I do prefer the Mark Hamill Joker version.
Yeah.
His voice is great. It's not undeniable. Yeah.
For a
Wow.
realistic Joker, if I'm really to believe that there's a rich motherfucker going around as Batman, I do believe he'd have bad knees. And I do believe that is the closest a Joker as we would get. Just some motherfucker wanting to watch the world turn. But that is not a good adaptation of comics. It's a great Nolan movie, but it's not a good Batman
Exactly.
movie.
Yeah.
And I understand that. too.
Getting a guy like Christopher Nolan to do the Batman movies,
Yeah.
there's a give and take,
Yes.
He didn't want to do comic book movies. He
Right.
said
Don't
that.
do it. Don't do
Well,
that. That's just my
well,
issue. Don't do it.
But to Jerry's
let me
point, it
finish.
was a fucking gateway drug. It did let them see how it could work, but let us do more fantastic
And that's what he
shit.
said. That's what Chris Nolan said. He was like,
Yeah.
I
lied,
made
bro.
these
He
movies
knocked
so I would never have to do a superhero movie again. And
Then he buys the Halo series.
first two were great. I like the third one. I understand the complaint. But the third one was really him. We're like, listen, I've earned this. I'm going to do what I want. And ironically, that's why him and Zack Snyder see eye to eye, because they're not real comic book people. They are filmmakers. And I think Christopher Nolan is a much better filmmaker, but you get the point.
Yeah, but now, and I'm about to go into a cesspool, guys. So I apologize.
That's
But
why
and,
guys like
Listen
Bruce
to the
Wayne.
channel.
Yeah.
Diving into cesspools.
and like the Dark Knight is my fear of what the Joker movie could possibly do. Because and if I look,
No, the Joker is not on the same level.
Todd
hate
Phillips
the
already said he's not the Joker.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
never going to
yeah,
turn into
yeah,
the
exactly.
criminal that
I
is the
hate it.
Joker.
But the issue that I've had, and look, I'm 25, so like I've kind of grown up with like kids like my age, and so when a lot of my friends saw Robert Pattinson's Batman, they hated it because they thought Bale was the definitive, Batman of like what Batman should
This is
be.
interesting.
And so
This is
now
to hear
the fear that
the
I
younger
have-
generation's perspective on this, because I grew up with
so now
Keaton,
the greater fear I
and from the
have,
very
so-
beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead.
So now the greater fear.
Adam
fear
West, yo.
if we do get a super fantastical Batman with James Gunn, like how would that go? Because Matt Reeves is also focusing on a realistic Batman as well, and that's kind of my fear with like some of this stuff, man. It's like how, like will this realistic Batman hurt like a
Paul,
fantastic
can I do a
Batman?
hot take? Let me do
Go
a hot
for
take.
it.
I fucking hate the Adam West Batman. I respect him as a person, and
Same
I
here.
understand its place in history, but I would cry as a kid when that would come on instead of the Kevin Conroy version.
Oh,
I don't like
Patrick.
campy
Yeah.
shit.
I'm with you. I thought it was.
I
like,
used to like it when I was a young child.
never done
I
that.
had
over the top.
no idea.
I just don't like that camp shit.
I also
Yeah.
hate Tim Burton Batman. I think he had no
Yeah,
business
I'm
making
not-
Batman.
I
movies.
can't.
I
They
accept
throw-
it, but
Turtle,
yeah,
stop.
his Gotham is great. I love
Yeah.
the character of Gotham but yeah, I'm not a.
Bro,
In
Val
some
Kilmer's
aspects,
underrated, bro.
Batman Returns is ridiculous because Batman is sidelined, and
Yeah,
then
but
obviously
Penguin is
you have
great.
you have the well,
Michelle Pfeiffer's great.
yeah, when you look at it when it's
Oh, yeah.
Nah, that
compartmentalized.
Penguin casting was fire.
Yeah, when it's compartmentalized, but as a whole, that movie doesn't work because it's too campy, and Batman, Michael Keaton is sidelined as in his own fucking movie.
You think the second one is
that's
campy?
Why, so Kyle,
It's dark.
I mean, Bale was
It's
sidelined
dark.
in his own movie too
But it's
by
corny.
Heath Ledger.
yeah.
But,
Yeah,
but Bale has been honest that was, and I'm not, that was, as in his words, his own inadequacies as an actor, that he couldn't get the take on Batman that he wanted exactly that would compete with Ledger. And he said even he was fucking got lost in that whole thing. And then obviously he didn't have a chance to correct that in the third one.
It's the campiness of the old ones, like the Keaton ones, Adam West.
I'm fine with that. It's when you get to Batman and Robin, because even Batman Forever, I like a lot of that.
I love
Batman
Forever.
Or
No,
Batman
no,
and Robin.
Well, that could have been even better because there's apparently this longer cut that goes into his backstory and his trauma.
Oh,
So-
yeah. I've seen some of those scenes. You're talking about Forever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love me
Bob
some Val,
Kane
bro.
said, even though Bob Kane sucks and it was Finger that did a lot of the Batman shit, he said that Val Kilmer was his best, the best depiction of Bruce Wayne,
Yeah, bro.
at least.
Honestly,
Very underrated.
Yeah, because of the way that they tried to handle that trauma, the brooding
I like the Kevin
nature of
Conroy,
that.
Ben Affleck version of Bruce Wayne, which is it's very much the same, which is people pointing out, where in public he just acts like sort of a nice philanthropist, and then behind the scenes, though, he's really Batman.
Well,
and Bruce Wayne is the mask.
in Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, even everything before Batman and Robin,
George Clooney.
including that, I thought it was way too campy. That's what made me actually like the Batman with Pattinson.
That's my Clooney impression.
Yeah. George even said he didn't get the character, and he's rich. What the fuck is his problem? He should have gotten over it. Even though, if you know Batman, you know that for the vast majority of Batman's career, he is over it, and his mission is to make sure what happened to him doesn't happen to other kids. Also, why he doesn't kill, because first, if you kill, then the amount of killers in the world stays the same, and also he doesn't want to kill someone, like kill a villain who then has kids and then do what he did to them.
So then he beats him to like 1 HP.
So then he gives him traumatic brain injury. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, no, this was a good live stream, I think.
Yeah, almost 3 hours. Look at
I
you.
mean, how could you not talk about Batman when we have Jerry just camping out
Hot takes tonight.
in Bruce Wayne's Batcave?
The wrong cave, but I'll let it slide.
It's just like the
wrong
go-to.
cave, but it's all right.
So.
Now, Jerry, let's clarify before we tune out of here. You said you didn't like the Dark Knight trilogy, and yet you're down in the
love
Dark
the
Knight
Dark
trilogy.
Knight trilogy.
Okay, all right. I
I
just want to
love
clarify
the
that. All right.
He's a glazer, bro. He glazes it 24/7.
Okay,
Nah, bro. And I
God.
smoked him on this the last time we talked
No,
about
you
it.
didn't.
I'm surprised you didn't chime in a lot when we were
think he's
talking
already-
about
Kyle,
this.
He's letting us do the work
we
for him.
argue about this every week. Yo,
Everybody else was piling on him.
like Kyle, like at least once a week, I always say, Jerry, I love you, bro. By the way, Bell sucks. I mean, that's like every
He tries to
week.
slide it in, and he's like cheap about it. He's like,
He's like
Christian
taking-
Bale sucks. Okay, next topic. Next, like, no. He doesn't even want to have the honest debate.
Look,
and last
what-
time when we did it,
Okay.
whoa. Last time when we did it, I was like, bro, I bet you Kevin Feige has given credit and said that. He was like, no way. And he goes online and he looks it up and he's like, okay, next topic.
Look, one of the last things that we can say about this is it's tough when you have this knowledge from reading the graphic novels of Batman, and then you go and see a film that isn't true to that. Can you separate that out and see it as its own film? There's a plethora of people that acknowledge that The Dark Knight is a great film from a crime movie perspective and how it works, and who are not knowledgeable on the graphic novels, and I'm one of them. It works on its own. If you pair the graphic novels with a movie and say that, oh, they didn't do this, they didn't do that, well, then Lord of the Rings fucking sucked because Tom Bombadil wasn't in it.
So Stevie's boy, who I talk to all the time and is also a big comic book head like me, he said to me, well, the Dark Knight trilogy had no detective work, so it wasn't like a fully accurate Batman. And the thing about Batman comics is Batman is obviously DC's number one character. The company is named after Detective Comics, which is where Batman comes from. But that doesn't mean every Batman comic or every Batman comic run leans into the detective thing. Batman is a very multifaceted character, and there are very different types of Batman comics. So, just because it doesn't have detective or just because one doesn't have a lot of action doesn't mean it's not an accurate Batman.
Yeah,
I've
but
read
Jerry,
that.
wouldn't you agree we've
Nolan
never
was
seen
lazy,
accurate
and
Batman?
Nolan was selfish, just like your boy Zack Snyder, and he missed out. Period. That's
The
how I
point
feel.
is we've never
question?
seen comic accurate Batman before. The closest is to like the Arkham games and the Kevin Conroy stuff, but we've never seen a full complete
I would
Batman.
say Arkham is the closest. I
Yeah.
would say
Nolan
Arkham is
could
the
have
closest.
done his homework, but he didn't. So
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Who didn't do the
Look at you.
homework?
Christopher Nolan.
oh no. Look at you.
Let me show you my elbow.
Let's go.
Oh my god!
You started
I'm a
fighting
ninja
it.
now. I'm a
It was
ninja.
supposed to be realistic, and that was the most. That's
Christopher
who he talked to.
Nolan
Yo,
did
Jerry,
The Dark
I'm a ninja
Knight.
now, bro. I'm a black belt in Taekwondo.
Christopher
Okay,
Nolan did The
Steven,
Dark
let me
Knight.
plug this real quick. I did a live stream for 2 hours talking about the Dark Knight trilogy with Hard Cut. If you go on their channel and find it, you'll hear some points about
Yeah. Next time,
Dark Knight Rises and why the Dark Knight.
Well, I'm honestly going to
Batman
react to it
great.
live. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna react
There you
to
go.
it live.
There you go.
Yeah.
Monetize that.
Superhero cuts. I posted something in the private chat, a Dropbox link to that
Okay.
artwork, to
Oh,
the Chadwick
perfect.
Boseman artwork.
Nice. Yeah,
I would
make
love
sure to
to
copy
buy
that.
some of that stuff. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
So next time I want to get Hard Cut and superhero cuts because like this was fucking fantastic.
Oh, they're gonna go
You guys.
insane.
I love the lively nature of the conversation, the
Oh, yeah, I mean,
disagreements,
even
the
Hard
agreements.
Cut-
Like that's part of.
If your
joy
fucking
of this.
conversation isn't lively and you're talking about nerd shit, then I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
At one point, and when the first time we were on a live Badger, when we disagreed about what a movie star was,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you had written me off, and because you didn't show up for the
Kyle,
next like
I
2 or
no,
3.
That's because
Yeah,
I'm
we're
an
like-
asshole who streams like 3 times a day, a billion days, and I burn myself out.
Yeah,
It's
No.
like Badger's too good for us now.
No, no. No matter how many open bars and film threats, you'll always be here.
Aw.
well, I'm glad we're not so low on the totem pole.
Shut up. No, we're all just fans talking about this dumb shit and hoping to get something good out of it.
Even
And yeah.
even
Cheers to
Hardcut
that.
texted me and they're like, "Oh, this is a spicy combo."
Yeah, Bobby and Matt have probably checked out at this point.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they had
It's like-
aneurysms.
You know,
Yeah.
Bobby said he had work to do. So
Yeah.
No, just like Steve and Jerry met, a lot of my friendships, including Leon from Saturday Night Hypnosis on Hypnotics channel, have been about fights where he was about the Thrawn in the expanded universe is better than Thrawn in Legends, and then all of a sudden you're
Right.
friends and you're streaming together.
yeah,
So,
no,
that's how
and I think
nerds
that's
do it. They fight and then they
Correct.
become friends.
well,
Oh, yeah.
that and it's healthy. It's indicative of there's something positive going on with culture when people who do share ethics and pop culture tastes
It's
are
passion,
still
Kyle.
disagreeing about things. When you look at the woke mob,
You're not allowed
to
disagreeing with each
They have
other, and
groupthink.
they're not allowed to.
We are not a fucking echo chamber. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Who had a tweet that went viral yesterday? I'm going to plug it, even though
They have diversity of skin color. We have diversity of thought, and I would argue diversity of thought is way fucking better.
Yeah.
David Marcus. You got to read David Marcus's tweet from yesterday at what time was it? So that way I don't have to actually say anything from the tweet. 1:27 p.m. Eastern time. It was incredible. Bill Ackman retweeted it. Ben Shapiro. I mean, all the big
Oh,
names.
shit.
It was incredible. Yeah. No, it's a little long, but like, if you have anyone who's kind of on the fence, this is the tweet to send them.
I mean,
Yeah.
so being on the fence, the original video, it was a YouTube video that got me to open my mind and get out of the fucking echo chamber that's outside my window, was the British comedian Jonathan Pye. So his shtick is being a journalist caught on a hot mic. So it's like live reporting from Buckingham Palace. Oh, that fucking bitch! Like,
Yeah.
He did a video the day after Trump was elected, and he just railed against. It's like, we don't have debate anymore. This is the problem. And I'm like, well, fucking A, we really don't. So let me make friends with opposing viewpoints so I can have an actual conversation and learn something new.
See, this was tricky, Paul, is that there has to be some foundation that you have commonality with. I have a friend back in Chicago. When the shutdowns happened, he and I disagreed. He wore masks. I didn't wear a fucking mask. I didn't submit to the mandates. And yet we were friends before that. We met on set on a commercial for Woodford Reserve on a Chicago rooftop. It was great.
Fantastic whiskey.
Right? So that's anyway, a different discussion. We met on that set, and our commonality that we shared were movies. We had the same taste in films, and we had the same sensibilities when it comes to that, and some of the same ethics. But when the shutdowns happened, we heavily disagreed. And some of the discussion is on my IG. I have some videos of us. We filmed each other talking, like similar to this, but it was like, in the living room and all that shit. And you can check it out.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like we respected each other to make our own decisions. He wasn't trying to force his will onto me. He didn't call me an idiot for doing what I did, and I didn't call him that.
Right, because ad hominem attacks don't work. How the hell do you think people are going to react if you call them racist, bigots, or whatever?
No, yeah, call all the audience bigots and all the Yahtzees from the World War II. That will really work out well.
Right.
And here we are.
Attack the argument, not the person.
Yeah.
And on that note, fellas, let's go around the horn. I want to know what everybody else is up to. So I want to start with, ladies first. Sin?
I don't have anything off the top of my head. I'm debating whether or not I want to film a review for Trap. I don't know.
Why the fuck not?
I don't know.
Wait, Kyle,
I'm actually anticipating that. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm anticipating it. Why wouldn't you want to?
I saw it because I wasn't in love with it, and
that's exactly why we need to hear your take. Because I was I was raging to go watch that. I'm like, fucking A, Josh Hartnett's finally making a comeback.
I think I get it. I don't want. Sorry to interrupt. Let me just real quick.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. A sense of why, because I had this spiel of like I only do videos on movies that I really feel about. I'm getting the sense that you didn't feel a lot from this.
It was like. Okay. So like usually if I'm passionate one way or another, I super love something or I was really pissed off about it, that's when I generally feel motivated to do a sit down review. Sometimes I'll do an audio review or whatever. But the thing about this is Josh Hartnett was fine. His acting was great. M. Night Shyamalan's daughter is not a good actor.
That's his
chick. The singer chick is his daughter.
She's acting in it? She's not just singing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and that was a little cringe. And things go a little bit too easy for him. And the final shot, I don't feel like is the gotcha moment that Shyamalan felt like it was. Like it just felt a bit generic. It just I like Knock at the Cabin more.
Well, then that's why we need to do a video on it.
No, that's totally fair, and that's why I asked the question. Why the fuck not? Right? It's like, because
maybe I will. I just won't do it tonight because I don't have the energy.
No, I am intrigued. I have been intrigued by the trailers, and then hearing an interview with Josh Hartnett and some other dude who said it's really cool that only half of the movie is in the trailers, and we hadn't seen the rest of it. It's like, okay, that sounds interesting, but all right. So I'm getting different parts of the scale.
Your mileage may vary. Everybody has, as we know, based on today's discussion, everybody has a different viewpoint on stuff like this. I just was not as impressed as I was hoping to be.
Well, sorry, I'm hijacking what you're. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna since Kyle, you've got a lot to say. What are you working on?
No, that's the thing. I don't have a lot to say. The thing that I'm working on right now is I'm finishing up my Twisters review. It's going to be out this weekend.
Nice.
And it's a very comprehensive review because of how much I adore the first Twister. And I've noticed that I seem to be the only person that really adores that film in that way.
Yeah.
Because I go not only into detail about Twisters, but into Twister and they just back and forth. It's like ADHD of the Twister franchise.
Looking
Like
forward to it.
you're gonna see that going on. So
Nice.
yeah, I'm trying to like I recorded for over an hour of me talking about those
Amazing.
two films,
Amazing.
and I've truncated it down to right now about 25 minutes.
Fantastic.
So
Looking forward to it. Stevie, what have you got going on your channel?
So we obviously got well, there's I know we have a Galactus video coming out tomorrow. We're talking some Glen Powell Batman coming out, and we just have 1,000 video ideas that just circulate around our minds. Like I know Jerry wants to do some comic Doctor Doom stuff. We're changing our fantasy channel to a new name, TBD. Obviously Hot D. The last episode comes out, so I'll be covering that next week.
Bro, pause.
Huh? Oh yeah.
That didn't come out how you
No
thought
diddy.
it did.
House of the Dragon, guys. Yeah. So you know, we always have 1,000 video ideas in our mind. It's just a matter of just
Getting it out there.
Yeah, because
Also,
it's a lot.
we can have one idea and then the next day, it's irrelevant because of a new moral revolution.
Oh, kind
Yeah.
of like my video on Taylor Swift doing a cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Exactly.
I was
so,
so
like-
glad that wasn't a thing. Ugh.
Nice. Well, looking forward to the Galactus video. And last but not least, the big man Badger. I'm almost like giddy. And any Friday, I'm like, you're going to be on fucking FNT at some point.
Oh, I mean, Gary said it was going to have, like, I talked to him. He said it was going to have my,
Yeah,
no
you're
rush,
having all
man.
that fun at
Yeah,
the
no fucking
con.
rush.
You little stink showing all these photos, making me all jealous
Sin.
and everything.
Oh, if you only knew, because Chris was going to give me Comic-Con passes and put me on his panels, and I was like, no, I'll be murdered. That's too much too soon. I'll be murdered. No.
bullshit.
It'll happen eventually. When it does, that'll be great. No,
Hey, are
but
you
in the
coming
meantime,
to Dragon Con? Are you coming to Dragon Con?
no, I think the next thing I'll be at is the Vegas meetup stuff.
Oh, okay.
So that's in
Alright.
September. 3 videos a day on pop culture, either movies, TV shows, or video games. Stream every day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is Badgercast at 3 with Nerd Wars. Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday with Nerd Wars. Just check socials. It's all there. And then
Do you
yeah.
ever see the sunlight?
Yes, which is why I need to fucking leave now so I can go get the last hour of it and get vitamin D. Actual vitamin D,
Badger.
yes.
Badger, wait, you're in?
California.
Oh, I'm about to say, cool. That's what's up, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Well, let's all go touch some grass.
And
Yes.
do some grounding.
All the things I hate, I still hate, even when I touch grass, but it's all right.
No, but like I'm like a contrast.
Kyle.
For like last week, I was outside suntanning, and then for the last 3 days, I've not been outside the entire day. Straight up,
Same
I
here.
have
bro.
not been outside the entire
Actually,
day.
no, I
Yeah.
had to walk my demon dog twice, but other than that, I've been in the crib.
Yeah, I've been just doing a whole bunch of shit in house, and here we are.
Well, yeah.
We set a record right now, I think, in terms of time for Thirsty Thursdays.
Yeah, really. Yeah,
Record
we're. I think this is probably the longest one.
Yeah.
So far.
Longest
Oh,
one
and this
I've
is
been
the
on
10th
one, yeah.
episode.
Congratulations.
10.
Jerry, we broke a record, Jerry. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, everybody, go touch some grass.
Peace.